It'd be like that.
Yeah.
I think that's
Hey, everybody. Bree is also joining. Yay. I'm glad this
y'all,
worked out.
she abandoned me like a rat dog, I ain't lie. She been telling y'all that she been sending me the link. I never got it until today. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
So why
talking
you
shit.
lying now? I know you straight
I'm
lying.
talking
Come
shit.
on.
I'm talking ish.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Hi everybody. How's it going? Hello. Yes, we'll hang out. Maybe we'll do some sprints. I didn't want to promise anything because with Ashley, you never know for sure. So
Wow. Not you took this opportunity to throw me under the bus.
listen, it's okay. I don't know. Do you want like this, or is it too narrow with the preference? I don't know.
It doesn't matter to me.
Or this.
It's up to Bree. Bree, how you feel?
I think I'm good. Either way, close
I,
up, I can see out of the box. It's all good.
three people is always like a weird thing.
Out of the box.
But
Mm-mm.
yay, Beth! I'm glad your AC is working because that was not good. Hi, Renee. Yes, we're definitely glad this. Hey, Isabella. Hello. 90s and yeah, it's been in the 90s here too. It's hot. I don't know how it is where you guys are.
90s, but it's been like that.
Alex.
Like this summer, we felt like the summer was going to be hot because it skipped spring. Like spring here was non-existent.
Oh no.
It went from winter to summer.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot. Ooh, 11 the night readathon. Nice. Hello. Bree is a celebrity.
I'm a celebrity?
Yes, you are.
I'm really not. What
You really
happened?
are.
I'm sorry, I was reading my paper. I'm terrible. What you say?
You're a celebrity.
Somebody said you're a celebrity.
No, that's a lie. Don't lie on Beyonce's internet. That's how Blue Ivy, she comes for you,
Hello. Wow, we got a lot of people here tonight. This was so last minute. I was just like, I have energy. Anybody want to do some sprints or hang out or something?
I ain't never logged on to Sprint so fast. Like, I saw that you messaged me, and then I saw the time, and I said, Brianka, you did it again. So then I was like, I'm just gonna log in, and maybe they're on, maybe they're not. Either way, it's okay. I tried again. That's
Listen,
how I was trying to.
I'm so glad it worked out.
Yeah, it was a struggle.
All right. Wow, in the hundreds for 2 weeks. That is a lot.
No,
Yeah,
you
the
gotta
Midwest
move.
has been booming.
Yeah,
With the
you gotta
heat.
move
Yeah.
It's
for
been
sure.
a hot year. You're welcome. I'm glad we can help.
No, I need
Oh,
some
Renee,
anti-glare
how
glasses.
did you feel about White Ivy? I know we'll talk about it at book club, but it was an interesting one. Hello.
How has y'all reading been this
Hey.
month? Bethany,
Uh,
I know you you probably kind of like, yeah.
I mean, like I've been reading, but like I haven't. I've had a lot of misses.
I watch your mid month.
It was not good. I got done with filming and I was like, man, I read a lot of stuff I didn't like very much.
But
I've been there.
listen, but I applaud you for sticking through because there's one point you were like, all right, now I'm getting kind of winded here. Like, all right, I'm good.
I mean,
That
I'm like
took me
recovering
out.
from COVID.
That took me out too. You were like, whoo, yeah.
Oh no.
Well,
I
listen,
was
because
cracking
I
up.
was like recovering from COVID, but I was like, I haven't had a video up in several days. Like, I need to put something up. And like,
Yeah, that was me when I had COVID. I just decided to blog. I was like, look,
Yep, you
it's
sure
COVID.
did.
I blogged. I just was in quarantine and blogging and eating noodles.
hey,
That was the
sounds good.
vibe.
Sounds good. Oh, good. Oh,
Actually, on your video today, I commented 5 times without even watching the video, but I put it on uh watch later. But I just had to speak my. You
I'm
had a
done with
question,
all
and
those
I had to
comments.
answer it.
But I'm done that you commented that, because I looked at your comments and I was like, what is Bree? Because I saw your comment and then I saw the replies and I'm like, well, who's replying to Bree?
It was
And I
me
clicked on her, it was
replying.
you. It was you. And then it was like, yes. Well,
In
maybe.
short,
No.
maybe.
In short, yes,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
What is going on? And not that you didn't even watch the video.
Because you asked the question and I said I am tired. I am tired. Maybe I'm not tired. I could be tired. Look, boss, I'm tired. I didn't know what to say, and I didn't
I
have time.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I
I
was
haven't
like,
seen it yet either, but I'm like, yes, it can definitely be
"Listen,
stressful.
you asked the question. I wanted to give you an immediate answer, and I was gonna circle back."
Because I feel like as creators, I feel like it's so like I feel like our answers would be varied on it, but I feel like
Hmm.
all of us have felt, regardless of who you are, how big or how small your channel may be, you have felt some sense of stress being on the
Oh,
creator end of this community.
of course.
It's not like it's I mean, it is I was stressed out making the
Not
video.
stressed out, being like, you
Listen,
know what?
I'm like
Mm-mm.
stressed out deciding if I'm going to make a video idea I had because I'm like, it's a good idea, but do I want to deal with the backlash from if the wrong people find it, you know?
That's
That's
the thing
also real
about it
true.
though. That is the thing about it. Like you want to do stuff and then you think about, well, I wonder if somebody gonna take this and run with it, and then I got to deal
Mhm.
with the fallout because
Exactly.
somebody's gonna feel some type of way about it.
Of course.
And you just stupid stuff. I mean, I texted this to Bree yesterday. Just being in this community, like it's just the things that people do, like being on the internet. It's just a very weird thing. So I read R. Eric Thomas's, I think it's Thomas or Thompson. Anyway, Be More. What is it? Kings of Be More. So I read that a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
I like the book because it was two gay black boys who were best friends, not romantic. They literally were going to be moving away from each other and they were struggling with how to thought maybe do something and I see Brianna. Wow, y'all gonna stop doing me and Brie dirty like that.
Wow, listen. We be
Sorry.
having things to discuss.
Right,
Y'all
shoot. And then
lucky
y'all
y'all
don't be
don't
here
see
for
our
tea.
phone calls. We be falling asleep with each other.
Okay, so I definitely did patron sprints last week and fell asleep.
Oh no.
I
Yeah, I
love to
did.
see it.
And I put in Discord, I'm like, I'm so glad that it was just y'all. Because I sure enough was passed out sleeping on the patron sprints.
It be like
Oh
that.
my gosh.
It be
but
like that.
but so I had put, that I thought the book was good. I liked the where the author was going with the book, but it threw me off because instead of it being about these two, like centering these two black boys and their queerness,
Hmm.
we had to throw an instance of racism in there, and the parents were super like overprotective, and I was like, it kind of took me out of the story. And it's not that it wasn't like important or that it's not realistic, but I felt like I just wanted the story of these two boys, these two black boys who are gay, who are
Yeah.
figuring out their friendship.
Yeah.
And so to
Hmm.
get those external factors, I was like, dang, like, it would have been a 4-star read for me, but because of that, and I felt like it took me away from what I wanted, it was still a solid read. Why did somebody comment on my damn Goodreads review and say, um, it wasn't a museum staff member that was racist. It was a random person.
Oh,
And
please, because
and
that's the
all
thing that matters.
right. And then it's gonna come and it continues to say,
It's
oh, and there
trash.
was plenty of joy by the end of the book.
Oh
Who
God.
are you? Who are you? First of all, you clearly didn't read the review. The only thing you saw is that because my review sits at the top, as soon as you go to the
Hmm.
book, my review is the first review that you see. You felt the need to comment because you gave the book 5 stars and I gave it 3.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen, your
No.
last
No.
sentence.
No.
You read them. In the last sentence, what you
Okay.
say? And I'm black, by the way.
I said,
Is
and
it
I'm
just
black, so how are you gonna tell me what's joy and what's
oh
not?
Exactly.
Like,
right?
what?
No.
I said, not shots fired on Goodreads internet.
On Goodreads, on Goodreads.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta say, sometimes I feel really bad when my review of certain kinds of books is like at the top.
But you can't help that though. You
Okay,
can't
because
do
like
that. You
there's
can't help
one where
that.
it's like a DNF review, and I just looked at it and I'm like, oh my god, like my review by far has the most likes, and it's like way
Y'all
up at the top.
famous.
It's the way that Goodreads works is that whoever has the most likes,
Yeah, is at the
the
top.
reviews are ordered by the number of likes. So
Yes.
sometimes on a book that necessarily hasn't gotten a lot of reviews, and like one of us will review it,
Yeah.
it will garner enough likes to where we are the first review that people, and it's hard in situations like that because then if people disagree with you, the first thing they want to do is go on under your review and say all types of wild stuff. And it's like, I can't help that my review is sitting at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
Celebrities.
Well, like especially too,
Celebrities.
I especially sometimes feel bad if it's like a book where I'm like, listen, some people would like this book. It was a me thing. I don't want to bring this book down. Why is my review the top one? You know
I,
what
I
I
hate
mean?
when you gotta sandwich it. It was it might be great for somebody else,
but it
it
wasn't for
was
me.
great for me.
I mean, I try to do that. Yeah, see, I write reviews for everything I read.
I do
So
too.
I mean,
It's
and I think
it's
it's
kind of fun.
useful for people, but I do feel bad sometimes when it's like a book that I'm like, I want this book to do well, even though I didn't love it.
You know
Preach
what has
on
been
it.
really aggravating me lately though? I have now
Hmm.
started getting more friend requests from um no shade
Yeah,
to self-published I read a lot of self-published authors.
yeah,
Okay? But I put a question on my attached to my friend request on Goodreads
me too.
because I was getting so many authors who were requesting and then would blow my mailbox up asking me to review their book.
I do not look at my Goodreads messages.
I
I don't read
stopped,
them. Yeah.
and if you say in your friend request, I'm an author, I instantaneously decline you. No shade, but I have had too many bad experiences.
Yeah.
Too many bad experiences.
Well, like if people really want a review from me, I have information in my about page of how to do that. And sometimes authors read it and do what I request. And I like sometimes people do it and I still don't want to read the book because it's just like not my thing and I don't always respond. But occasionally they do all the things and it's a book
Hmm.
that sounds interesting and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure, send it to me," you know?
Hmm.
But yeah. Oh, good question. It's fantasy with a low key, slow burn romance, but it's not a romance per se. It does have a romantic plot to it. It's like a B plot. But yeah. Oh no. Really? Do they do that?
Yes.
I, you know what? I don't even, wouldn't even notice because, like, I don't, this is, this,
It's cause
I
you
shouldn't say this.
famous.
No, it's because like I don't look through everybody who watches my Instagram stories because
I
there's too
don't
many
either.
people who
There's too many
too many
people.
people watch them. So like I don't like
Wow.
It's not a
She
shade
said,
thing.
"You young, you small pints. Talk to me nice." Me, I be trying to comment on everything. Hey, thank you.
well no because like you can scroll up and see who's watched your story and
Oh, I don't do
stuff.
that ever.
Like I
I've
don't look
never
through
Yeah,
done
all of
that.
we don't do
them.
that either.
I've
Yeah. Okay.
never done that.
Okay.
I've
Yeah,
Okay.
never done that.
it's too
I
much to be
can.
seeing. Who looks at
Sometimes
your
I'll look
story?
at the top few because I'm just like curious,
It'll
because
be the
sometimes
same people that I
because
know.
well it usually is,
You
but
and
if
Bree.
they no, but you know what they do on Instagram is if it's like a highly followed person, they'll pop them to the top. So like every once in a while I'll have like a big author watch my stories and I'll see it near the top if I like
Okay.
see what I mean because it'll like so that's always interesting. I sometimes I'm curious and I look, but not that much.
Listen, I found out that Karen Slaughter occasionally watches my stories, and I said I can die
Hey,
happy.
Hey.
I
hey,
said I can die happy. I said talk
hey.
to me nice. Everybody, talk to me nice. I get one article mentioned, and you
Hey.
can't tell me nothing.
But that article was fire though.
I get one
I
article
love it.
mentioned and I'm like,
Love it. Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. That, yeah. Uh-huh.
not
Well,
the
that's interesting.
heart.
A heart. Yeah, that I would
Mm,
notice. Let's, yep.
will it be like that?
Yeah, Brie. I love it. No, it is
Every
interesting when
once
you
in a
know,
while.
because like that, like there are people who I know watch my stuff who don't comment, but like I know because they've like privately said, like, I don't, not like weird stuff, but like right. Anyway, it's always interesting when you know people who are watching.
It's not weird. I totally get that. I know every time I talk about Amari and the Night Brothers, BB watching.
Oh, he's so
okay.
nice.
He's so nice. It's
He's
my
so
cousin,
nice.
girl.
Well, when you
Listen,
come
we did
here,
him.
I'll take you to meet him.
Oh, that'd be fun. He's really nice.
He is
We
really
did
nice.
Excuse me while I
Amari
pass
for
away.
hey. We did Amari for Patron Book Club one time, and he was like, and he just was like, yeah, I'll come and like do a Q&A with your patrons for like 30 minutes. And I was like,
Wow, cousin.
yeah,
I'm coming for you, cousin. I'm
it was
coming
very
for you.
nice. It was very nice. He's great.
I thought about
Yes, you can
having a
say you had
chat with
dinner with
him
us.
for Black Aween-a-san.
Oh,
Literally
do
not a
it.
part of
No,
You
any
should do it.
you should
any prompt
listen.
at
You
all. But it's
you
magical.
you should totally do it. He's
Yeah, I
lovely and
know.
like total.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would be up
He
for
is.
it.
Yeah. Still haven't reached out to not one author.
Yeah.
So very
I'm
sorry.
still
But
like can't believe because we just did like for the podcast we had an episode where like all three of the authors we asked for this episode said yes,
I
and I'm
saw.
still like,
Yeah.
oh my god, because we did queer historical romance with Erica Ridley, Adriana Herrera, and Olivia Waite, and like
Olivia Wade.
Olivia, they were
Wow.
so good. It was great.
Wow. Look at you. Big time. I'm with some real famous people, y'all. I'm just saying.
No, they're all really lovely people.
With the Yoncés of the booktube.
The who?
The
The
Beyonces of the
Yoncés.
The
booktube.
Beyonce's a book too.
The Yoncés.
Oh my gosh.
I told you I felt bad and bougie this week having lunch
It's
with
exciting.
Kelly.
And then my little niece
I had
looking
texted her.
all happy
Who?
next to her, right? Was that right? Am I wrong?
My internet just went out, so I
Oh
missed
no.
what you just said.
Oh, I said, and you put the picture of my niece with her too.
Oh yeah. Because we had lunch with her, and then I brought baby girl back to meet her.
Uh, oh, where was this? So this is a question. I don't know if y'all have read both of these. I would say Piranesi's not as confusing as Sorrowland. I loved Sorrowland, but it is one that takes some effort. Um,
I haven't read either.
oh, no worries, Karen. Sorrowland is so good.
No.
Which Comic-Con? I go to New York Comic-Con every
I'm
year.
about to say there's New York Comic Con. Are you talking
Yeah.
about
I've never
San
been to
Diego
San
Comic
Diego.
Con?
I've
I want
never
to go
been
to
there.
San Diego's
I
Comic
want to go to I know, me too.
Con.
But I go to New
That
York
was
Comic
cute.
Con every year, and I'm so excited because it looks like last year I went and the publishers were basically not there, which was a bummer.
Yeah.
But this year they're going to be back, and I'm so excited because it's a good place for book lovers. You'd be surprised.
It is.
Anyway, yeah, it's fun. I was
Yeah.
actually thinking, because I don't know how many people are going to be in New York for it, but I was thinking of maybe seeing if people want to do like a little meetup or something in October.
I'm ready.
Look at
Come
you.
up to New York, Bree. Let's hang out.
Listen. The way I should have went to New York years ago, I'm embarrassed. So being in Peace Corps, most of my friends are from New York, and the fact that I just been dodging them, I gotta go see them.
Thank you,
I gotta
love.
go
I
hang
appreciate
out.
it.
Come. I'm supposed to be seeing a couple like Joshana's up here. I'm supposed to see her tomorrow and Ingrid
Okay.
and like
Oh,
and then next month Angela's coming down here.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Let's see what my funds looking like. If my funds is doing the Lord's work, I should also do the Lord's work on getting on the plane. But if
Okay.
my
Yes.
funds
I mean,
tank is on E, then I should be where I be. Yeah. Right here.
I hear you. Yep.
And that's the God honest truth.
Oh
Oh
man.
man, this headache trying to take me out. I just can't. I need this sun disappear, disappear. It won't.
Any
It's
of
holding
them?
on.
Oh, you should go if you get a chance. It's fun. I mean, it's intense and like schedule in time to like go somewhere quiet if you need it and take a break, but it's great. It's fun. Isabella, that's right. You're going to be in LA soon. The trick with San Diego Comic-Con is actually getting the tickets. That's the hard part.
Oh, have you been there?
To Comic-Con?
Yeah.
No, but I've considered it before, and I think getting tickets is
It
a
is
challenge.
crazy to get tickets.
I remember I
Oh,
told
oh,
somebody close to me that they got to go to Comic Con with me.
Who?
Ashley, there ain't no owls in here.
Don't do that.
You mug,
I
remember?
know. I know. Yeah.
y'all should
I
come
know.
up to
We
New
do.
York. Come to
I know.
Comic-Con.
We
It'd be fun.
do. I
It is fun.
probably. When is New York Comic Con typically?
It's
October.
yeah, it's usually like the first weekend or two of October.
October.
Like one of the
Bree, we plan it out. I could do October of next year.
I can do October next year.
I could do October. That gives me enough time and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting it out to do October of next year. I
For
could do
Do
sure.
that.
it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Also, I'm so excited. This is the first year I got approved for a pro badge.
Oh yay!
Which you still
Do
have to pay
tell.
for, but it's like cheaper. Yeah, you have
Uh-huh.
to apply. You have to give like your social media credentials or like all your stuff. And if they
What's a pro
approve you,
badge?
so
I ain't never been to a con, so I don't
yeah,
know.
it's basically like I get a 4-day badge, but it's like half the cost of what it would be for regular tickets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like you might have to do a lot of strange things to get that. It's strange.
you just gotta do the application, and then you have to cover it on your channel. But I usually vlog when I go anyway, so yeah.
Dude,
Anyway, I'm
be
excited because
steadfast and proud.
I've applied before, and it's the first time that I've actually gotten one.
Gotten it.
So
I think too, like, dang, y'all, I had a whole thought in my head, and it literally just seeped out. That's amazing. Oh, y'all think they're ever gonna bring back? You know how they used to have what's it called?
Ooh, Isabella, hook us up.
Isabella, I forgot about that.
I don't know your line of work, but I'm going to slide in the DM. And I thought you were going to slide in my DM about bones. I was waiting for that
I'm
slide.
done. I'm done. Um,
We supposed to talk about sweets and how we are heartbroken.
Bethany, what is the name of the thing that used to take place in New York?
San Diego or New York Comic Con?
BookCon.
No,
Oh, BookCon. Oh yeah.
I was
Did
supposed
they
to
ever
go
say they
for
were
a
coming back with
birthday.
that or no?
They
I didn't
haven't said
see
anything. Yeah, there's
I was supposed
nothing.
to go on my birthday, 2020. I was so ready, only to
Oh
be
no.
denied by a
Oh
thing
man.
they call pandemic.
Listen,
That's
New York Comic Con is like secretly great for books. Like most
I
people
believe
don't
it.
know it, but like it's better than BookCon because most people aren't there for the books. So if you are, like you're gonna get the arcs, you're gonna get to meet the
Yeah,
authors.
because
Like
nobody's there for that. Yeah,
exactly, it's great.
yeah.
It's like
Wow. When is
excellent.
this?
First
It's
weekend in
in
October.
October. That's why I said we go next year, October.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a next year because
Mhm.
Black Arena Time is going to take all my energy this year.
It is a lot of people. I mean, I
It's a lot.
get that.
Any
It
kind
is
of
a lot.
con is overwhelming. Your first con is super overwhelming. Just is a lot
Yeah.
going on.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations. I'm gonna get mine this fall. I'll probably try to get it before Comic Con actually. And I'll wear a
I didn't know
mask.
you can get a fourth vax.
People who are like immunocompromised and stuff can, I think,
But
but
my dad got his fourth
they're gonna do a fourth one probably for everybody like this fall.
in the fall.
Oh, I need to tell my doctor to give me my fourth then. Let's not mess
Mm,
around.
mm.
Yeah, my dad is immunocompromised, so he has his fourth.
Oh, this is fun. I could tell y'all celebrity stories living in New York and seeing people at playgrounds.
Same.
I'm
In New
done.
Orleans. I'll
I'm
never
done.
forget when I walked up on Destiny Child. I was like 13
Listen,
and I was like,
no, like so many
Michelle
people
Kelly?
just, yeah, like so many people just like take their kids to playgrounds here, and you just got to act like you don't notice because that's what New Yorkers do. You just be cool, and act like you don't notice that like a A-list celebrity is there with their child in the swings, pushing them on the swing or whatever. That's
I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't have seen Rihanna out to act a fool. Come on, rude boy, boy, can you get enough?
I can't.
I
I'm
would
done
have
with
been,
you. I'm
take
done.
it, break it, break
I'm
it, love
done.
it, love it. I'd have been all up in it. She'd have been like, yeah, we gotta go home. I'd have been like, yeah, I'm inappropriate. I apologize.
Isabel. Oh yeah, Isabella, how are you feeling? I know you got your wisdom teeth out.
Oh, child.
Yes.
This
Listen,
never
this is
You
what
quit.
it's
still
like.
looking like you
Come-
got
let's-
chipmunk cheeks, Isabella?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with BookCon. World Fantasy Con. I do want to do that one day. Maybe I gotta think of. I want to. I gotta come up with something fun and not too much work. So we'll see. I'll think.
I would
I
be.
maybe.
I just
Sometimes I
know
do.
I would. I just know I would be lazy and I would dress up. Oh man, I'm forgetting her name. And uh the fifth season. Cause it's pretty much me. I just gotta look me and
Mhm.
badass. So I forget her name in the fifth season. And Kid
Oh,
Jimmy.
oh, yeah.
I forget her name. Yeah.
What
I
is?
don't
I
remember a
can't.
character's name.
Oh no. Somebody in the comments is going to know the character's name from the fifth season. Someone tell us. Who knows it? I can't think of it right now either. It's going to come to me like late tonight, but somebody's probably going to know it in the comments. I'm just waiting. Ah, fun. That's great. Oh, that's cool. What? You met Rihanna before she what? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm, that's amazing.
I met Sierra so many times as a teenager. That was
Are you
cool.
serious?
Mhm.
Wow.
She used to have like these concerts,
Oh
these
no.
little tours she would go on. They're like in the middle of nowhere, and they would be not a lot of people. It's $20 for a ticket, and in that $20 ticket, you got two sodas. So my uncle
Two
would,
sodas.
yeah, my uncle would hunt them down and find them, and then I would go and I would be my goodness, my good, in the front, just you may look at me and think that, and then she would always point at me, and I would come closer to the stage, and I was doing move for move. You understand me? Couldn't tell me nothing. Felt like everybody else wasn't giving the energy that's supposed to have done been gave, but I was definitely there, living my best. Shout
That's
out to
great.
you, Uncle.
It's golden. Living my life like it's
Mm.
golden. Don't ask me why I did that.
Wow.
Living
Wow.
my
That's fun.
That's my book right there that you hold, Brie.
So,
life. Seriously, one of my favorite of all time.
Yes,
Hands
yes,
down.
yes. Hands down.
Hands
It's
down.
an amazing book.
I like there are a couple celebrities who send their kids go to the same public school my kids do, and I've like seen them
Mhm.
at pickup before.
Can you say who?
Uh,
Ashun, yeah.
yeah. So like Paul Rudd.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. And there were some people before our time that we heard used to send their kids, but like they were older than my kids. But yeah, Paul Rudd, we've seen it pick up before. And then oh, there's like a famous author who lives actually in our apartment complex also because of like she's NYU faculty. But what is, oh my God. Now I can't think of her name. She's like really well known. I'm
That's
gonna find it.
interesting. That's just, I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I mean, that's awkward
Yeah.
and interesting at the same time. Like,
It's, I mean, it's Zadie Smith.
Oh,
oh,
Zadie.
wow.
Yeah, she like
Come on,
lives in this.
Zadie.
She like lives right around us. Yeah, thank you, Isabella Zadie Smith. Yeah, and like her kids were going to the same school and stuff. So
Wow. Love that.
yeah,
I'm going to be honest. Paul Rudd sounds vaguely familiar.
he played Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. If you Google him real quick, you'll know
Google,
exactly
look
who
him up.
he is.
You'll recognize him.
You'll recognize him. It's not a face you can really forget.
Essun. Yes, thank you.
Oh, Paul Rudd, the funny
Yeah,
guy.
See,
yeah,
told you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
yeah, you know, it's
Yeah.
his face.
yeah.
He
Oh, that's
really
cool.
did that. He really did that in Clueless. He really did that.
Mhm.
Yep.
He
Mhm.
really did that.
He like doesn't age.
I
No, he
listen.
doesn't, and it's the weirdest
Him,
thing.
Pharrell. There's somebody
Pharrell,
else,
let me say something.
Pharrell.
Pharrell is a
and Anne
vampire.
Hathaway. I just feel like those people don't age.
I mean, Anne Hathaway, I think she aged. You can tell.
Not you aging her. On Beyonce's internet, Bethany.
Listen,
I mean, she looks good, but like there, like I don't know. Have you seen these
Pharrell
commercials
though.
where they've put Anne Hathaway
Pharrell.
with what's her
Zendaya, love
Zendaya?
it. Love
I,
it.
I love it too, but like when you see them
Queens
next to
among
each other,
queens.
like I'm like you can tell that she's not 20, you know,
Listen,
which is fine. She looks good, but like
Zendaya, I just need to hang out with her. That's all I need in my life.
thank you,
she
Emma
seems
Ray.
great.
Pharrell is inhuman. That man literally
He's a
does
vampire.
not look different. It is
No,
the
Yeah.
strangest thing I have
it
ever
is.
seen.
Yeah.
He does not look any different than he did 20 years ago.
You know who else is like this kind of is I don't know her name, but the girl from the Vampire Diaries who played the black best
Nina
friend.
Dobry?
Have you
Oh, no,
no,
sorry.
the black girl.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Like
She also
if
has
you look at
tattoos.
her like 20, she's played a
Hold
teenager
on.
for like 20 years.
Oh, Bianca. We're talking about
Bianca
Bianca.
Lawson.
Yeah.
She
Listen, let
Yeah.
me
has
tell you
not
about old
aged.
Bianca. Old Bianca.
Because it took me forever to realize that she was in
Mm-hmm.
Dag on what's the movie with I can't stand the movie now because the
She
dancing is
is.
horrible.
Save the
Save the
last
Last
dance.
Dance.
Ooh, ooh,
So when
ooh,
I had put two and
ooh,
two
ooh,
together,
ooh,
I was
ooh,
like,
ooh, ooh.
why does she look? She has
Yes.
not aged at
No.
all.
Yeah.
She played a teenager for 20 years. Like
And we
it's
love to
wild.
see it.
It's
I mean,
so
she looks
And
weird.
great,
then
but
y'all,
yeah.
she came back to Pretty Little Liars and played a teenager
But she looked the
again.
same.
Oh, somebody's saying no. Kat Graham was the bestie on Vamp. Okay, all right, okay. But either way, like
But
I
It
Bianca
think
was Cat
Lawson.
her.
Graham.
But
Yeah.
either
Okay.
way, Bianca
Either way.
Lawson has not aged a day.
A day. We
Because she
love
looks
Bonnie. We
the
stand Bonnie.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bianca. Yeah,
Oh,
she is Beyonce.
interesting.
I didn't want to say Beyonce's stepsister because that's what I would assume that would be annoying. Listen, Lupita.
Lupita.
Lupita is
She's
Listen,
gorgeous.
beautiful,
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Listen,
This whole live is just what's the name?
what's the name? Because I'm gonna tell you right here, right now
This is
on
why we
Bianca's
have the people
internet.
in the comments to help us when we can't remember names. I am the worst at
Oh, I should
remembering.
vlog while we're live.
Yeah.
I
Go
gotta
for
make
it.
this. I gotta make these brownies.
Wait, y'all, I'm confused. this saying that Bianca Lawson was in Vampire Diaries. Was she or was she not?
I think she was for like a second.
But she
Like
might have
a
been a different
second.
character, like a different character, maybe.
She
I'm about to say,
was
I'm
in
getting
there
so
for
confused.
she was in there for man. I'm talking about a second, I think.
Okay,
Or was it
Isabel.
originals? I can't remember.
But she wasn't
No,
Bonnie.
she wasn't
Yeah, I
Bonnie.
was thinking
No, she wasn't Bonnie.
and I was thinking of the girl who played Bonnie. Yeah. Yes, Bonnie's Bianca. Thank you.
I can't find the lid.
She played
gotta
one
be
of
a
Bonnie's
lid.
ancestors. Okay.
Yeah, I have not seen. I probably watched one season. Two. I give it 2 seasons of Vampire Diaries.
Wow.
I'm not a big like. I watch the weird TV shows like Siesta Key. Okay. I have
Listen.
seen every single season.
Listen,
of Siesta Key.
okay, so like I really enjoy
I'm
Vampire
judging.
Diaries.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like
I'm not.
it's like delicious drama, except when they do the episodes that are like set in history, I'm always like horrified because they're so racist. And I'm just like, oh, wait a minute. Like all these people. And also I didn't realize until my last rewatch that like the brothers were like in the army in the South in the Civil War.
Yeah. With their Confederate flags
it's
high.
bad. I'm like, it's bad. It was.
I don't follow enough to. Maybe it's because I think I watch more. It's sad. I watch more reality TV than anything, and I don't know why.
Ashley, the way I was watching, what was it, Teen Mom OG on the live show yesterday instead of reading?
So
girl was going down. I said, this is embarrassing.
So good.
This
the drama. It's the drama. But you know what? What's wild though? I did start rewatching because it's on Hulu. I started rewatching episodes of The Secret Life of the American Teenager. That show was
that show was lit.
But that show is such a huge, like going back now in 2022 and watching that show, it is it's cringe because I think about how like Amy's like telling Ben, you're not the baby's father. I don't know if I want to have this baby and keep this baby. I want to do adoption, and Ben is like being pushy, like, no, you need to keep this baby. Ben. Ricky doesn't need to be involved. And then I just finished an episode where he told his dad, I'm gonna go with Amy to find out what the sex of the baby is. And his dad is like, don't you feel like that's a little much? Like, this is not your baby. This is a very personal moment for her. And like, he just kind of ignores it, and he's like, and I'm gonna be there for the birth. I'm like, what? Like, oh my gosh. It's like going back because I think I watched it at a younger age and it was solely for the drama of it all. Mm-hmm. Going back and watching it now as a parent and being 30, it's like, there's so many red flags in that show.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. That show was, needed some work. Some work.
I have not seen the Vampire Academy trailer. I didn't know it was out, but I'll have to go look it up after this because
that's coming out?
Yeah,
it is.
Wow.
Be prepared for the book clubs and the reading vlogs.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you know, people,
not you just.
We gotta capitalize off of the media stuff because otherwise, how are we gonna get the rest of YouTube to find our video?
First of all, let's be for real here. Okay?
You ain't wrong.
I'm not wrong. There's going to be reading vlogs, reaction videos, and 100%. Book clubs in preparation for this all. Okay?
I'm just telling you, my video come out next week.
I know. Maybe after this, I could go film a reaction video.
Listen.
I'm done, man.
I'm gonna tell you all right. I'm gonna be honest. I secretly want 5K before Black Haween-a-thon because I just want more people to participate.
Do it.
I might 5K.
What'd you say?
I think you can hit 5K before Black Haween-a-thon.
Ooh, I don't think that's gonna happen. But I appreciate your love. I do. I'm far from that. Far.
Peacock is trying to make things happen. They've been picking up a lot of stuff.
They have
I
been
do
picking up a
not
lot of stuff.
like.
Dude,
I'm
I ain't
waiting to
got
see if
no.
it's gonna take off, but
Oh,
oof, oh my gosh.
Bree's
man.
blog explains a lot about that relationship between Ezra and Arya. Okay, Bree
Listen,
talks about that a lot.
listen. Them mother. Oh my God.
I never saw Pretty Little Lies. I feel like I was like slightly too old for it. You know what I
No.
mean? Like I was like a little older than like when it
Yeah, the
really hit.
release. Yeah, I think
I
I
feel like
watched maybe the first
like I
couple
was
of seasons.
yeah. I think I
No.
was like a couple of years past when it got started taking off. Um
I feel like for my blog,
mm,
I think I don't really know how to name things right because that blog should have been bigger than what it was because it's coming out, but I couldn't. I don't think I named it right.
well, you know, you
So
can always change the name after the fact. I do that often. Do people know you can do this? Like sometimes if the algorithm isn't hitting a video the way I want it to, I might change
Go back
the
and change the name.
title or
Yeah.
change the thumbnail.
yeah, I do
Uh,
need to change the thumbnail too. I feel like the thumbnail, I didn't like it when I posted it, but I didn't know how to make it any better. So I said, let it
listen, you have
go.
like a whole bunch of friends who do this also. I'm sure we could brainstorm with you if you
Oh
need
my
it.
God. Yeah. Y'all send some tips. Send some tips because I
Uh-oh.
was completely
Jessica
over the
said
whole
Peacock is
experience.
trash.
Not
That's what
Peacock.
Jessica said.
Jessica said Peacock is trash.
I
Mm.
like Peacock. I got the free one though. The free
Uh,
baby. Free
I mean,
99.
free is always good.
Jessica, why is it trash?
It just don't have a lot of things. The only thing that I say Peacock is great is because they have OG Charm, and you can watch it for free if you get an account. That's really great.
Okay.
You can watch all
I heard the
episodes.
reboot wasn't
Mm.
that good.
It is good once you get past that first season.
Okay.
Oh,
And I will
okay.
say, no shade, no tea to the fourth season. The new sister acting is bad. I'm talking about it is atrocious. But I digress. I won't talk no more about that.
Interesting. I've been watching all these like reality things on Netflix lately, like Indian Matchmaker
Uh-uh.
and Love on the Spectrum. Like,
Oh
I
yeah, I
watched.
like
I've
that
heard a
one.
lot of criticism about Love on the Spectrum.
oh, really?
Not the
Yeah,
criticism.
Interesting.
yeah,
No.
yeah. It's a lot of people who feel some type of way about Love on the Spectrum because of the way that it showcases autism, and that some people feel like it's meant to garner pity or
Oh,
or make people seem, I don't want to say less capable than what they really are,
Oh, that's
or more
oh,
annoying.
childlike than what they really are. So a lot of people just
that's
didn't like the
interesting.
way. A lot of people did not like the way that it was developed, and then there
Hmm.
was some controversy about whether they actually got paid or not for doing that.
Wow. We
Yeah,
better pay those
Really?
folks.
They should pay them. Are you kidding?
yeah. I don't know how true that is, but I had just started looking because I had watched like maybe an episode of it, and I
Oh,
was just
man.
looking at like reviews
Yeah,
and stuff like that, and so that was kind of some of the pushback
that's
against
interesting.
like the
Yeah,
representation in love and this, like just how it's framed and how it could be perceived by people who are not on the spectrum.
yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, like some of it was cute, and some of it was but I can see. I will say, like, what the main thing about it is that, like, I know quite a few people who are, and, like,
Uh-huh.
definitely the people that they cast do seem more, I don't know, like, more, like what you were saying, I guess, like, more
Yeah,
childlike and stuff than a lot of the people who I know I don't know, I just, yeah, because there are a lot of people, there's even, like YouTubers who are on the spectrum.
yeah.
Um, like I know Alan from Library of Alexandria talks openly about it, and
Okay.
yeah, it's interesting.
Damn. Not to take away, but I just realized I've never used my oven. So this is going to be very
You've
interesting.
never, did you say you've never used your oven?
Yeah, I've never used my oven.
Bree, how do
Uh-huh.
you not use your oven?
Let's be real. I only been here for a short amount of time,
Okay,
but
okay, okay.
still, but the fact that, and then I'm out here trying to make brownies with no pan. Like we got to make that one make sense.
Hmm.
So I don't know what to do.
Got a lot going on.
Does
I
the show
do.
make them as a seem as a character? I mean,
To me, I could see how it could be.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can see some of them. Like, there's some variation, but sometimes I could see
Yeah.
how it, yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
this is
Which I think
embarrassing.
is, like I like the idea, and like parts of it I like, but yeah, I don't know. It's, which I guess is
Oop.
always the problem with, like, when they do reality TV focused on specific groups of people. I feel like a lot of times
Hmm.
you get, I don't know, like some interesting things.
Yep, for sure. Boy, the oven ain't working.
Yeah, this is interesting. Bree, what is happening over there?
I'm
Like,
struggling.
I'm
You are
hearing
struggling.
a lot of noises. I don't know
I'm
what.
sorry. I'm struggling.
Okay. I can recommend, though, I feel like Indian Matchmaker is good if you like that kind of thing.
I kind of
You
want
know
to
what
get back
show?
into the Beverly Hills stuff, the Real Housewives or somebody. I heard the
There.
Real
Yeah.
Housewife of Dubai is funny as hell. I keep seeing it on TikTok.
Has anybody seen Bling Empire?
No.
Oh
Mm-mm.
my god. It is like the most wild entertaining thing. It's there's 2 seasons of it on Netflix, and it's a reality TV show following like mega wealthy Asian families in Los Angeles. It's basically like Crazy Rich Asians in Los Angeles reality TV on steroids. It's wild.
Not the steroids.
It's so yeah. Um
Did
anyway,
y'all
it
did y'all hear
is.
about Young, Famous, and African?
Oh
I
yeah, that's
watched
funny.
the I
It's
watched the
funny.
first episode.
I watched the whole damn season.
Did you?
Okay. Yes,
It
Okay,
it
was
tell
was.
me how it is,
funny.
because like I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't see a story. You know what I mean yet? Like in the but it's a lot.
You got to keep going. I watched a couple episodes and I said, "Bruh, I can't do. I cannot
It was a
do."
lot.
It
It
was
is.
just a lot.
It's a first of all, it's not really. I wouldn't say necessarily that it's a storyline.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, which a lot of people had issues with the fact that a lot of it is very much so like flaunting of wealth and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I just feel like it's messy because you have what's the guy's name? Two Face, the guy who came with the song African Queen, which I did not know that that was him. Anyway, one of the major plot lines is him and his wife
Yeah.
Ooh,
have
girl,
had
you remind me
issues.
of a dream.
Yes, and I love that song, but he's messy. So
He
apparently
is messy
he has
AF.
like, what do you have, like 5 or 6 kids, and only like a
Listen,
couple of them are hers
man.
before and after they've been married.
Yeah.
Oh, is this
And
the one with is this like the woman where they have like a daughter who's like disabled?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, I feel so
yes,
bad for her after episode 1. I'm like, oh
yes.
my god.
So basically, they have
Not because
like
of the daughter, but like just because she's like been
her
through
dynamic. Yes, no, 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 no. I did too because I was like, I just don't
like
feel like this is going to go well. And literally, it doesn't go well because her insecurities play out the entire season in regard to her
oh,
relationship with him. And
oh
that's a
no.
huge focus of it because she can't get past like who knows her husband and who doesn't know her husband. And like, she just, you could tell she's very, very insecure.
Oh
And
Yeah, I
so
don't think she realized her husband for the streets.
y- her husband is still. I feel like her husband is still for the streets. I don't care what
What you
nobody
mean
says.
still for the street?
He he was awful, and you can tell like even some things that he says like later on in the season because like they do a vow renewal, but it's just weird. It's just all of it was just I just couldn't stop watching because it was like a
Mm.
train wreck. And of course, just from a different perspective, like you see like young, rich and African, and
Yeah.
they all come from different areas, but they all are famous. They're all
Right.
wealthy, and so
Right.
that's never that whole mix is very interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do have some interesting, like Brie. Did they have a conversation about somebody using skin? No, I found out after the fact that one of the characters had been the controversy of using like skin lightening cream and stuff like that.
That is very popular.
It's very
Unfortunate.
popular, and so you can tell though when she's on camera, like it just things just don't look
I
right.
just hate it when they lie. Like, why you lie? Like, we see that your face is giving 6:30 p.m., but your neck is giving 4 a.m. And it's like, how you think we don't see the difference?
Yeah,
Like, you just out here
Oh man.
lying on beyond, like, speaking your truth, speaking
but
your truth.
they did
But
have
I also understand that
I
it's
don't know if y'all
hard
have ever
on
heard of him
folks.
before, Swanky Jerry.
Yeah.
Swanky Jerry for me
Mm.
was like the epitome of the show. Like his style is phenomenal.
Yeah.
His sense
You
of
can't
style is
knock it.
crazy.
You can't knock it. Now, you can't knock it.
Is
You can
hey, is Megan
tell.
Good is she still married to that pastor? Or did they divorce finally?
Megan Good. Oh, they done. She
Are they
headed
done?
out.
Okay, she headed out.
She
Okay,
headed out.
I mean they had a good like what 7, 8 years.
Yeah, they had a long run.
Everybody used
I
to
don't
love me some Megan Good when I was back in high school.
listen. They still do. And by
Megan
them,
Good,
I
Megan,
mean
Megan, Megan.
me. I could be a team of one. I'm okay.
I'm
She
done. She
divorced
divorced
and
and
got
got
her
her
color
her
back.
holiday back. I'm done. I'm dead, deceased in the crypt.
Wow. Not, not a crim keeper. Okay.
Child, she got divorced and got her color back.
Listen.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just hate it when they lie. It's like you can lie to these white folks, but you gonna really try to lie to me, bro? Like, come on, come on. They told me don't eat the batter. Hmm.
Mm.
I grew up eating batter.
Have you all seen Harlem? I haven't seen Harlem.
I haven't seen Harlem. Listen, y'all are catching me. Like, let me tell you, I'm serious when I say like I really do not watch TV like that. So when I watch a show, like
What?
it is
Y'all,
something that I'm super committed to.
Megan Good's ex-husband is going to be on Married at First Sight, but not as a
I'm
contestant.
done. But I'm done.
Wow, he needs to be on
What?
Divorce at First Sight because that's the reality.
You ain't shit. Dude, what happened to
Renee, I said maybe Sprint in the title on purpose.
Fred, we ain't never listen. I gave up. I am literally multitasking. I'm waiting for my computer to stop acting crazy so I can
I just like,
upload my
I got
last
a,
assignment.
listen, I got a lot of work done today. My kids went, like, swam all day and were tired and went to bed early. And I was like, I have energy. I want to hang out. So,
Sometimes the sun gives you your energy back. Sometimes.
mhm, mhm.
Man, the fact that I don't buy
Oh,
snacks
y'all, have you
makes
Oh,
me
seen,
hate
yeah,
geez,
life.
Lil
y'all.
Kim.
She
I mean,
she
I feel
I have
Who?
like,
no words.
yeah, Lil Kim.
Who?
Lil
Lil
Kim.
Kim.
Lil Kim. Yeah.
I
Is
What's
worry
the
that
that,
next
right?
like, at
question?
that, like, I feel like at that point, like, I worry people have, like, a dysphoria. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In the way that they see themselves. So,
Yeah, that's
I
unfortunate. It
I
really is.
just feel like
Man, maybe
baby
I'll
went
make
under the
myself
knife
some
and couldn't
pasta.
stop.
Yeah, it be like that. You know, you
And
could
it
be
does.
addicted to surgery.
And I think
yeah.
she definitely not me on my phone looking at Lil Kim then and now.
She was beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I don't know.
I mean, I can't. Lil Kim used to be gorgeous before she turned herself into the cat lady.
Ugh.
I'm done. I can't.
When some comedian said that Michael Jackson is out here looking like a white woman, I could not. At that time, I I felt like I was going straight to hell because the way the laugh came up from my
Oh,
soul, I felt like that the laugh translated from my ancestors on back to me. I was crying. I was in
why
actual
that man
tears.
look like a whole white woman?
I
Like
was in
Michael went through
actual
it.
tears.
Michael went
Yeah,
through it. He went through some
through it,
things because ain't
through
no
it.
way you come out looking like me. And then all of a sudden, 20 years later, you white as snow.
And then he tried to say vitiligo, and I said, "What vitiligo makes you completely white?" Maybe I don't understand. The doctors in the chat, maybe tell me. Because if
Oh,
you
Brie.
trying to be milk of magnesia, just say that. Just say you trying to be milk of magnesia. Just say that.
Oh my god.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah, she really was.
And she's lightened her
It's,
skin drastically.
yeah. I mean, I think what's it like the thing is it like is sad that like we live in a world that would make people feel like they're better off doing stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And let me tell you, white supremacy have some lot of negative effects.
Yeah.
yeah. I just feel like Lil Kim looked like, you know how back in like the 18th century they used to powder their skin?
Not the powder wig and the knickers. Not the knickers. Is the new
Yes,
lace.
you can't tell me, like, hold on. Like, you can
Not
barely see,
the
like, that picture.
uh-uh.
Like,
Not
come
George
on.
Washington. Mm-mm.
She looked like she powdered her face.
Mm-mm. Not the knickers. I can't. Listen, I know this was supposed to be a vegan meal tonight, but I want meat. But I won't do it. I won't do it.
Okay, first of all, let me tell Bethany, I don't know if you saw the video that I shared on my Twitter yesterday.
No.
First of all, it turned out to be a marketing thing for Issa Rae's new show Rap Shit.
Okay.
That's what it was. So when
I
Deidre had
can't
texted
wait to see
that
that.
brief, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
what it was. So when I tell y'all the replies to that video were had me dying. Literally last night, I was sitting here dying with the replies.
Here's the
Like,
thing. Don't go on Black Twitter because your
do
stomach
not,
is going to hurt. It's
do
going
not,
to
do
hurt with
not.
laughter.
They tore that girl apart last night. They tore
Yeah.
her to not real. And then everybody was like, "Oh, it was a marketing tool." But it was just like the way that it was done. Everybody's like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Because she gets on screen and talking about I'm light skinned. We're like, "Wait, oh, you a whole white girl? What you mean you light skinned?" She said, "I'm light skinned." Everybody's like, "Huh?" And then she had on like this tight, like pink jumpsuit with these thick pink heels on, twerking in front of Spelman College. And so it was just like, who said this was okay?
Listen,
What?
she showed up. I never snitch on you, daddy. I hold a brick
Oh.
for you, daddy. She showed up.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you. First of all, like
I
there's a
know.
lot of unpacking with conversations about white people being a part of D9. On my campus, in my chapter, I don't think we've ever had a white person in my chapter, but I have seen it, and it becomes a very interesting conversation.
I
Um,
as a person from the outside, I don't understand it.
I
Only
don't
because
either. On the
only
inside, I
because
don't
the
understand.
history of D9 and why they were created.
It's just a very
It
awkward
just,
situation. It's
I just feel
awkward.
like every space ain't meant for everybody. And it seems like when you're black, they don't care. They're like, oh no, we gotta include Tom, Brenda, Jessica, and Rachel.
They've been, I don't know, I first of all, I don't know why, like I mean, I guess now with social media being different, but it's like white women have been a part of D9 for a minute.
Hmm.
It's not like the first time that that has happened, but it's very like when I went to DC for our 100th anniversary.
I feel like y'all should explain what this is because I feel like
Okay.
for people watching who are not from the US or like whatever, or like not,
Yeah, that's Ashley for sure. I don't know what's going on.
We were just talking about it, Brie. What do you mean?
But I don't have a close relationship like you do with D9. I can't explain it in chunks. I just
Yeah.
know D9 stands for the Divine Nine, the original sororities and fraternities for black folks. That's where my knowledge ends.
So D9 is the Divine Nine, which is non-historically black
Okay, she
GLOs, what we
acting.
call Greek letter organizations.
Oh well, shoot.
So the earliest one was founded in 1906, and that's Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And
Not
then
the alphas.
the Alphas were first, and they love to
Oh
say
God.
that. Them and the
Yeah.
AKAs, first fam, that's their thing.
Annoying. Annoying.
It's so annoying, but so historically, of course, you're not going to find black people um, that were a part of predominantly white fraternities and sororities. And so we once
Sweating like
again
a
created our
spiritual.
own spaces. And of course, for a lot of different reasons, I can't give you the history of everybody's organization because I don't know the history of everybody's organization. I only pledged one. And so, like, my sorority was sisterhood scholarship and service, and that's what we stand upon. And a lot of what we do is the fact that we have this sense of community, fraternal and sorority community amongst each other without being able to have the opportunity to join these white sororities and white fraternities.
Hmm.
And so they're historically black.
Yeah.
The founders are all black. They were created to give black people a space. So it then becomes awkward when um, you have white people who are interested in pledging D9 because it's just it's because of the history behind it is what makes it very awkward.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of like trying to because people be like, "Oh, you're trying to gatekeep." Yeah, honestly, there's some shit that does need to be like gatekeeping needs to happen. Like that shit.
I will say that
I
until
mean, yeah.
I'm blue in the face. Like, why does it? Here go my rant. Why does it? Why is it that other people of color and other marginalized groups can gatekeep and nobody bats a goddamn eye? But the
Well,
moment
black
the
people do
Negroes
it.
of America want to do something, people
we're
got issues.
yeah, we're
Then they
gatekeeping. It's
want
not
then they
fair,
want to
and
say it's pop culture
Yeah.
and it's all this
yeah.
other ish.
So
Yeah.
it just becomes very awkward, honestly. When and then what ends up happening is that it turns the attention from the purpose of the organization onto the fact that you have this singular white person. So,
Yeah.
like somebody had put in the chat earlier, there is a Kappa who became famous, essentially, he went viral a long time ago. You could still, like, if you just Google, like, white Kappa, he's probably
Hmm.
one of the first people to pop up. And, like, he got viral because he was a white Kappa shimmying.
Yeah, I remember
And
that
it's
guy.
weird. It is very weird because it's just like, okay, like I don't know who said it. Jasmine, was it you that said it? His shimmy wasn't even that good.
Uh-uh.
And so it just but it was because he was a he was a white guy and
I've
a
seen better.
predominantly black organization that had some rhythm. And so
Yeah.
everybody just, oh my gosh. Like it's just it's
Yeah.
just it's a weird thing. And then the comment above with Kissy, that also bothers me where you have multicultural frats and sororities that model off of D9. It's
Hmm.
frustrating when I see people
We had a
strolling,
couple of
which is like
those.
when you see black fraternities and sororities that are essentially like it's called a stroll, but we're all dancing in the same way in a line. It's
That's so
aggravating
cool.
to see people like have calls, do strolling, and it's like it's not something that you typically would do. You took that from us because it looks cool. And so the reason why I have a problem with stuff like that is because people love Black culture, but they don't like Black people. And so when you see stuff like that, I don't care if you are another marginalized group or you are another person of color, like things get taken from Black culture all the time.
Right.
And people don't like us. So
Yeah.
I always feel awkward when it's like I see multicultural sororities and fraternities too, I'm like, but y'all don't stroll, you don't hop, you don't have call. Like it's just weird because that's our thing. Like it's like we can't have, and you can't have nothing. We have nothing.
I
Nothing.
saw a thing once that I thought was pretty interesting where somebody was pointing out, they were like, you know, if people are wondering why so many white women are falling over themselves for people like Jack Harlow, it's because they're white men who like have the who carry themselves like Black guys do, basically. And that
the thing
like
is,
there's
Jack
some
Harlow
and that
don't
like
even
they
like
and
women.
yeah, well, and so that's what's interesting is like this idea that there are like some white women who will sort of like be drawn to that and not even like realize what it is, that it's like they want this thing but with a white person. I don't know, it's interesting. Like I thought that was an interesting take. I'm curious what people think of that, but I thought it was an interesting perspective.
I feel
Jack
like
Harlow.
that is a take for a lot of people. Like Jack Harlow, I just saw an interview the other day, and it really it didn't correlate with what I know of him, because I hear he talks about, you know, how praising a Black woman, all this stuff. I don't follow him, but then somebody asked him, name 3 women that were famous that you would date, and they were all women who are Latina. So I'm like, that there's a discrepancy, sir.
Yeah.
I looked at the notes.
He didn't
and
know
I
who
saw a
Brandy
discrepancy.
is?
No.
Yeah, so I just feel like it's how you not know Brandy?
How do you not know Brandy? How old is he? Is he like a baby?
But he's
I
in
guess
the but you dabbling and dabbling in Black
Man,
and
I
Black
guess
music.
that
and you
boy
should
ain't
know.
mine.
Yeah, like just,
Okay,
you
now
know,
I want to know. I want to know how old Jack Harlow is now. I'm looking this
you
up.
can't
I'm
be
curious.
dibbling dabbling in Black and Black music or Black culture as it pertains to music,
You
and you
know.
don't know who Brandy is. Like that in itself is a problem.
He's 24, so he is kind of a baby.
Y'all
so
just
I mean,
let my
I guess
joke go like that.
Sorry.
Oh, that's Ray J sis. Like, see, to me, that's a problem because, like,
Not
I
Ray
think
J,
when you
sister.
start infiltrating,
Not the hat challenge, man.
when you start infiltrating culturally into like, I just have an issue with like the Justin Bieber, the Jack Harlows, and even Justin Timberlake. Because let's be for real, Justin Timberlake called himself wanting to do R&B, and then when he was done with it, and he did everything that he did, especially what he did with Janet, he went to go. That's why he did that album where he went back to his roots with that country ass CD.
I will never forgive him
that man
for
for that.
Nipplegate. I'm never gonna forgive him
I
for
would never
Nipplegate
forgive
because
that
he
man
did
for
what
that
he
at
did.
all.
I'm never gonna forgive him for Nipplegate. Never.
Oh my God.
I can't. Like I cannot. I really
Oh shoot, I messed
it's
up.
so and then I heard at one point that Justin Bieber got upset because he didn't get nominated for like R&B. I'm like, go sit down. Sit down.
Oh, please.
They forgot the rhythm and blues
Sit down.
aspect to that.
Sit
Child,
down.
have
And I'm
several
not saying
seats.
like it is like it's not that he but see the thing about it is that like it's not that for me, it's not that Justin Timberlake is not talented, but he has used Black music culture to his advantage. And when he was done with it, he was able to drop it and go back. Same thing as Miley. People think Miley Cyrus invented twerking. I'm like, have y'all lost your mind? Twerking at one point was synonymous with Miley Cyrus, and people thought that she's the one who invented it. Miley was able
It
to
was
get out
giving
there,
unseasoned chicken. The whole
unseasoned,
thing.
bland, uncooked,
Unseasoned.
and
It was giving
literally
pre-cooked and aisle 7. Near the hot dogs.
And
It was
literally, when
given.
Miley was done with infiltrating Black culture, she went back to being Hannah Montana. Okay. Like, that's the thing that I don't like about the whole situation is that I feel like there are people out there who feel like they can infiltrate Black culture, use it to their advantage. And then when they're done with it, they can go back to their roots. And so when Justin Timberlake came out with that, I'm going back to my roots, I said, now, sir, all of a sudden this Montana out in the Midwest is your roots. You wasn't saying that before. Anytime you could get up there and sing any type of R&B, get Timberland to produce a track for you, you was all about it. Now you want to go back to your roots. I said, you know what?
Did that just say unwashed chicken?
Unwashed chicken cutlets. Freezer burnt unseasoned chicken. Oh Lord.
Woo. I love
And
that.
has Justin
Yeah.
apologized
No.
for?
I have
Listen,
no idea.
Nipplegate will
I
never
don't know.
be.
I don't know.
Thank you, Kissy. I don't know what that Woodland Man nonsense was either. That album was trash. It was so bad.
Oh no. I don't even know because I feel like I was like not paying attention to anything at that point in time, but like I was having little babies. But
It was horrible, Bethany. I promise
oh
you, you
God.
didn't miss a thing. That album is garbage. The only no. The only song that I kind of like is Young Man, and that's because his son is in it. And I thought it was cute. But the rest of
Okay.
the album, I'm like,
Wait, he got a kid?
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
He married Jessica Biel and like they have a family. Well, the thing is like the only thing I really recently know from him is the song from Trolls because my kids like it.
Not, what is it?
Sunshine in my
Got that
or
sunshine in my
sun in
got
pocket.
it,
Yeah,
got
that one.
that
That one. It's
you
like
guys
I
are
know that
a
song
great
because my
singing group.
kids. Yeah, because my
Mhm.
kids like it. But yeah. Oh
That
man.
song is almost as like overplayed as "Happy" by Pharrell.
For a while, it was my
It plays at every work
Alone
meeting.
if you feel.
Listen, for a while it was my oldest kid's favorite song, so I had to listen to it on repeat. Like, can we listen to that song? Oh, okay.
I listened to
Can't
it because
stop
my
the
friend
feeling.
was in
Thank
the
you. Can't
video.
stop. Yeah.
Your friend
My
was in the
friend was in
video.
the yeah.
What?
My friend is one of the bays, one of his dancers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So I
fun.
was like, I'm supporting her.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay. She also got her hair cut off by Rihanna. Y'all know that Lemonade song? And that girl in the front got her hair cut off by Rihanna.
No,
That's
I
my
must have
friend.
missed it.
No.
Yeah, it's like soon as Lemonade start, this light skinned girl's getting her hair cut off. That's my friend. We did dance and everything together in college.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Wow.
I like Chris Stapleton.
Oh no,
That his
not at
version
church.
of Tennessee Whiskey. Ooh, child. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey.
Oh man.
I feel like this
Yeah,
AC
somebody
ain't
earlier
working
was.
hard.
I know earlier Jessica was like, "I'm looking up Jack Harlow. I didn't even know who he was." I was like, "Yeah, he's the only reason I know who he is because he was in a music video with Lil Nas X."
Which is such a, first of all, Lil Nas X's video with
I
what's his
told you.
face? FBET. What is the name? Who did he do that with? First of all, that video is hilarious. In response to that nonsense that BET pulled, how you give Jack Harlow a nomination and not Lil Nas X? I mean, I know why, and I know how they did that, but
Yeah.
still,
Well, honestly, too, I think Lil Nas X is incredibly talented, and I don't understand like how he didn't get nominated for stuff with that album.
I do,
Me too.
because the Black community is still naturally afraid of queer identities, and a lot of that
Yeah.
plays into what went on with that, because Lil Nas X is openly gay, and so
Yeah.
you know, all of that.
Yeah.
That it's a
Yeah.
lot of that plays into it, and
But
so it's just
honestly, he
disappointing.
like what he's doing is so important, and his music. I feel like his music is good too. You think he's talented, but yeah.
Man. I was surprised that Jack Harlow, they asked him to perform at the BET Awards.
Ugh.
I was like, okay. But when Mariah Carey came out, I said, okay, Mimi. She said, when I walk by every night.
Can she still sing?
Yeah. She said,
Well, she must have practiced.
hello.
Because when she did that Christmas special one year,
Listen.
ooh, child, I said not Mariah, honey. Not
Uh-uh.
Mariah done lost the vocal.
Mariah. We go back like old pacifier. Is that how the song go?
That's who it was, Young Boy NBA. Okay. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
who did he do that with?
Yeah, he is super talented. You know what I did? I don't like the video tanked, but but I was like, I loved the album he released, so I did a whole thing of like recommending a book for each song, each track on his album.
Yeah.
Like nobody, not hardly anyone watched it, but it was really fun to make it.
I was about to say, it must have been really fun to make though.
It was.
You know what? That's always like the thing that happens. The videos that are fun to make are the videos that
Hmm.
always take.
Hmm.
I don't know
It's
what
true.
it is.
It's true. Like the ones I'm like, I spent a lot of time on this and had fun making it, and no one cares, but
And no
that's
one
okay.
cares.
Have a good weekend.
Her whole roast talking shit. I mean, talking ish. Let me tell you, Casey Musgraves, she gonna get my coins one day. Okay. The moment she come to a state near me, I'm dropping everything and I'm heading out immediately. Immediately. I love her. I just need Neon Moon and I can go. I can
Hmm.
go. I just need Neon Moon. Then I can head out.
Hmm.
I can White Horse too. There's a couple.
Listen, I'm glad you enjoyed my video. You and like, 10 other people. No, I mean, it wasn't literally 10, but not very many people watched that video. It wasn't literally 10. I'm being like,
But I was about to
but
say, Bethany, now you know it was more than 10.
no, it was more than 10, but did not do well. I wonder, I'm super curious now. I want to know like what it's at now. It's probably still not very good, but I'm curious.
How long ago did you make this video?
It
I
was
made it like when it dropped. So September 2021.
How did I miss
Um,
that?
it was fun. Okay, I'm gonna put the link. I'll put the link to it in the video for this one.
I think it was
But
premiered. Can't remember.
it it's okay. It's had 726 views in all that time, which is not very good for my videos.
Well,
If
y'all
anybody's
think
curious, I'll add it to the video description here. Not, I mean, who knows if that many people watching this actually care either. But if y'all want to see it, I'll put it in.
So let me ask y'all a random question.
here she go.
What do y'all think booktube is going to be like in 5 years?
I may or may not be here.
I probably
I
won't
don't know.
be, to be honest with you. To be quite frank, like I probably will not be in this space in 5 years, but I'm always curious to see, like, because I don't know if I feel like somebody had pointed it out where they're like, this whole trend right now is that reading is cool, you know? And I'm here for it. As a librarian, I think it's great. Literacy. Stop, Kissy. Stop. Stop.
I mean, it's not
Stop.
wrong.
I just feel like um I feel like it's because of that, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it was the move to make because it's where people's attention is. Yes.
That's like to me. If I'm being honest, I understand expanding your YouTube presence.
Hmm.
I keep seeing like daily. I'm finding people I've never followed before who have millions of subscribers who are now
Yeah.
booktubers.
Yes.
Not
Yep.
in the community. Don't converse with anybody in the community. And to me, that's messing up the community. So now
It is.
people, you have to work now twice as 3 times, 5 times, especially if you're a black creator,
Yeah.
18 times
harder just for your video to be found.
Yeah, you do. It's hard because it gets lost in the algorithm with these individuals who don't. They're not a part of the community, and I don't mean to.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be messy like that. And it's like, no, we don't all talk to each other, but we know who talks to who. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so we know that these individuals are not. They're not communicating with anyone in the community at all. So it's very awkward to infiltrate a space in a community which you actively don't engage with. And then on top of that, what makes it even more awkward is, like Kissy said, it's a lot of pushing of books that A are old, B
Mhm.
have no, I mean, we're talking no type of diversity whatsoever, like nothing. And so for me, it's kind of like, I'm glad to see more people reading because reading is reading at the end of the day, but like we're not helping trends in publishing at all. Because with people buying all of these books, you are telling publishing that this is what you want, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what we don't want. And it's just it's kind of like it's a twofold thing for me where it's like, the librarian side of me is like, oh my gosh, I'm loving seeing so many people invested in literacy, but then you know
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I also think there's a difference between like
Yeah,
cuz we like Ashley, you and I like we do reviews,
uh-huh.
like and I do feel like and Brie but like it but you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between people whose content on booktube is primarily they talk about the books that they're reading, but like maybe the emphasis is on like vlogging or the emphasis is on
I
challenges or you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like not there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's totally fine. But I do feel like I don't even know exactly what I'm trying to say with this. Just that like I think there are people who appreciate the reviews, but it's like really hard to blow up with that. You know
I
what I
think it
mean?
is. I think it's always going to be more difficult when you're not following certain trends. Like Brie, I'm going to use as an example. Brie's content, I think, is extremely creative.
Hmm.
And I say that time and time again that Brie puts out some of the most creative content and has
Yeah.
a very pleasant and likable energy about her, which should be drawing a bigger audience.
Hmm.
But Bree's content is unique. I'm sorry, Bree. I know I'm talking about you like you're not here, but you are here, so I apologize. But I feel like Bree's
I'll turn.
content is unique and should be getting a lot more viewership. But also, I feel like a lot of times this community does not reward uniqueness. Like Bree reads a lot of stuff that's out of the box. Bree reads a lot of things that you're not going to see people in the community pick up. And so I feel like in my head, and what I think in life, I would think that people would gravitate towards that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I've never seen this before. This is different. This is new. But what you typically see is people gravitating towards what everyone is doing. And then I find that so hard to grapple with because then people say, oh, booktube is so stale. Everybody's doing the same thing. And it's like, but see, when you got somebody like Bree who's putting out content that's different, you're not watching. So the algorithm doesn't push. And so
Hmm.
you are getting that same content because you keep watching the same shit. So it's so difficult to make it in this community. I think sometimes when your content is super freaking unique, it's
Yeah.
just it's
Hmm.
and so like I hate to see like I'm I'm old, not in
No.
age, but I'm saying like I'm old in terms of how long I've been in this community. So it's a lot of factors with me. Like I have subscribers who are probably no longer watch YouTube at all. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's for me, I think I've gotten to a place where it doesn't bother me as much anymore. But I don't like seeing newer content creators because Bree, you've been here a shorter amount of time and your
Hmm.
content is fresher than mine and more unique than mine. And I feel like your following should be larger than what it is. And it's hard when I see people who are exploding, whose content is really, it's not anything that's, you know what I'm saying?
Just
Hmm.
re-
It's
Yep.
the same thing that you see everybody else doing. So it's hard for me when I see people that I appreciate, adore, and love not getting their flowers when they do, and yet we're getting push content by people who are doing the same thing, reading the same things.
Yeah.
And it's like it just you get kind of you that's how you end up falling out of love with this community, because it's like you don't reward people for being different. I don't know.
Well, I always think it's interesting when people are sort of like booktube content's all the same. No one ever does anything innovative, but you do something innovative, people don't watch it.
No, they
Like
don't.
people do innovative stuff all the time, but like people don't watch it.
Or they don't. I don't know. I one of the things that I get sad about is when like I see Ashley, I see Bethany, Mara, and my name is Marines.
Mhm.
When y'all do like those in-depth book reviews, like I love those. But then I see that they don't popular on your channel versus
Mm-mm.
a wrap up. or like or
Mhm.
when y'all did that it's still on my I literally think about it once a month. When y'all did that read along with, oh my god, my favorite quartet now. Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh, the Tamara Pierce
well,
books.
yeah,
Oh man.
Alana,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, there should be a million followers. There should be a million people. This is so great. It's
No.
like people were not.
No.
I was like, this is so
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also, because I think somebody commented too, and this is me, and this is, I don't want anybody to feel personally victimized by Ashley over here. My issue, because I don't know who said it. Somebody said like maybe comics and graphic novels will become more popular. I really don't want BookTube to touch that. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I keep want to gatekeep, and I really don't want y'all to touch that shit, because my issue is that, and people should explore what they want to explore, and people
Instagram.
should read what they want to read. But what I have a problem with is people dipping into things not because it's something enjoyable, but because they think it'll get them an edge or get them views. And it bothers me when I see someone who's been, and I'm not talking about me, when I see someone who's been talking about this genre or this specific thing for a long time, and they don't get the viewership, and then somebody randomly dips into it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe
Yeah.
BookTube is not talking about this stuff more. And it's like, people are, you're just not watching them. And
Yeah.
so for me, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I would love for people to delve into comics and graphic novels more, but I also know people don't like to give credit where credit is due.
Hey, Angela.
Hey,
Hello.
Angela. So for me, that's troublesome when I see stuff like that, because people will flex as if this is them pushing this stuff out and that they've discovered this stuff, knowing good and well that they haven't. You've gotten this from someone else, or you've gotten this from a small creator, and now
Yeah.
you're using it as a larger creator, and you're not giving it credit. You're not telling people where you got this material from. It grinds my gears when I see people do stuff like that.
Yeah, just give credit. It's not that hard to do. This is also true, though. It's hard to balance being authentic with making content people will watch. I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just talked about that today. It is hard. It is
mhm.
very hard. It's the
Because
hardest thing to
being
do.
authentic is so messy. Like, no one wants to watch that all the time.
I think
That's
too,
true.
just being authentic and doing what you enjoy, people don't always appreciate that either, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is though that like the the videos that easily get the most views are often kind of boring to make all the time.
Yep.
And I need to be interested in what I'm doing. Like I can make basic videos occasionally, but like I need to do creative things. Otherwise I'm going to get tired. Like I've been doing this for more than 5 years. I'm not like, you know what I mean?
The way that I knew my novella video would not perform well this month, but I was so excited about it and I did it anyways.
You gotta,
Yeah. You have to
you
but you have to do stuff like that too. Like
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
That's my flex when it comes.
Hey,
I mean, that's
Andy.
still a thing. That's still a thing today. People were, I mean, but I don't even go there. I'm not even talk about that nonsense.
But
Like,
I will say, Ashley, I had long days at work this week, and you kept me company with those hour-long videos. So I appreciate that long-form
I'm about to
content.
say, what video did I do? I did put a video up that was an hour long.
Yeah.
You definitely did.
I was like, that's why I haven't put a video that's
It
been
was
an
what,
hour
the
long.
top
Yes, it did.
22 books in 2022
It
or
was an hour
something?
long. I did not mean for that to be an hour long. I really didn't. It just.
It was great. It was very quality. I
Oh, it's
almost want
great.
to actually read manga. It probably won't happen, but I was this close.
Okay, so this is a good question. What videos are getting you views? My hauls are down. I'm playing with other formats because people aren't watching my hauls anymore. Or I mean, they are, but like it's
I'm
not
not a good
they're
channel
not.
to ask for that. I always get the same views per video most of the time, unless it's a review video. I'm just a very steady following channel.
You
Yeah.
know, it depends. Honestly, it depends on how the algorithm is feeling me.
What
Because
about
there'll be,
science?
huh?
I was saying, Angela, what about your science video? I love those.
I
Oh, yeah,
love
those
those
were
too. So
fun.
I had to pause on those, not because of the algorithm, because the algorithm and me are not friends, so we don't talk. It doesn't matter. But because I was writing my dissertation, I needed to escape with booktube, and doing more science was just not the escape. And then I wanted to do those videos differently, which will require learning a new skill set for video creation, because I want to do it less talking head and more with different graphics and stuff, but I'm not very artsy that way. So basically, once I'm unemployed, maybe it'll happen because I'll have some free time to like do things.
Yeah.
But I want to bring it back, especially. So I went to a Ken Liu signing, and like being at his signing and hearing how much he loves technology and geeking out about patents and like law and all of this stuff. I'm like,
So you in your element.
I was just like, oh, I really want to do this
I can
series
see
again.
it.
Maybe I'll just read the Dandelion Dynasty and be like Science Behind the Magic with Ken Liu and like ask him to be on.
Yes.
cool.
Do
Oh
it.
yes, like sometimes you get that inspiration, you get really excited.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
he's local, and he was really, I think, glad I was in the audience because I asked a lot of questions and I was his like comfort audience member. If he met my eyes, I looked back. I didn't stare away. I was like, yes, you're talking to me.
Oh, I love that for you.
That's great. I love that.
So I don't know, but I want to
Yeah.
bring it back, Brie. I really do. It's just a matter of I haven't stopped being hit since my defense. It's been like defense, trying to get a job, graduation,
You got a lot.
vacation,
You got a lot on
COVID.
your
It's
plate.
just like
It's a lot.
moving.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Like just do what you need to do. Listen.
My hair color is so pretty. Thank you. It is
Yeah.
brown.
Wow. It is brown.
For those who don't think brown is a pretty color.
It is.
Oh, I love brown.
I'm curious,
I think
like
blue eyes are scary. I like brown eyes. Brown eyes are so much warmer. Blue eyes pierce my soul. I feel like they see more than I want them to see.
I feel like it's giving serial killer.
Y'all are running out.
TBRs
Okay,
still do
so I'm
good
curious,
for me.
like,
TBRs
yeah,
and wrap-ups do well.
TBRs and wrap-ups do well. My wrap-ups do really well. I list videos, depending
Things
on the
that get
topic,
me new viewers,
tend
like
to
I
do
guess
well.
things that the algorithm helps me pick up. Sometimes if I do like sci-fi recommendation videos, people will find it through sci-fi books, but sometimes I'll make a list video and it crashes.
My
So I don't know.
my panel discussion videos do pretty well.
Yeah.
Like topical discussions, but yeah, hauls not so much.
You keep watching those stat videos. Those do not do well for me. I still do them, but they do not do well.
My discussion
like
videos typically do well, but it depends on what the topic is. So like
Yeah.
today I kind of knew that it could have been a hit or a miss because today's discussion was not really anything that was necessarily controversial. It just was a literally like, is being a booktuber stressful? And so that's for me. When I made it, I was like, well, I want to talk about this, but I knew that going into it, that video was going to be a hit or a miss for me. But typically, honestly, those discussion videos for me are like people. It's kind of, I feel like it's low-key an expectation. But honestly, I never know, because there's moments like I'm going through. I tell you right now, this is going to be the strangest thing. I'm about to go through a period right now where my videos are going to underperform, because this is the way that my channel always goes. So I'll have in between 3 to 5 videos that are going to underperform, and then it's going to be one video that's going to set the algorithm off, and then I'll get back on level. So if you go back and you look at my videos right now, the past like 5 or 6 videos have all been at least 2.3K and above. Now it's going to start to take that dip again, which is, I said, me and the algorithm, we go up and down. So it'll pick me up and it'll favor me, and then it'll drop me off, and then I'll underperform, and then it'll pick me back up. And then so it's, I've gotten to a point where I notice when the ebb and the flow starts. So it's never really for me a topic or a video that's always going to perform well, because there's some videos I'm like, that shit should not have performed well at all. But because I'm in the phase with the algorithm of it saying, we're just going to push everything that you put out. There are things that I don't think are going to do well that will do well. And then things that when I hit that low point with the algorithm, things that I'm like, oh, this will do well. The algorithm's like, no, we're done with you for right now. But so we're not gonna, we're not gonna.
I would like booktube to stop pushing my Testaments rant video. I made that in 2020. It's a 15-minute video about a mediocre book, and I would like all the white women to stop talking about how important and impactful that book is, because it's trash.
Oh my gosh.
It's not good.
They liked, I mean, like, the algorithm likes to push random stuff sometimes.
Well, it's whenever Roe v. Wade comes up, it's whenever Handmaid's Tale has a new season, that random video I made about a book
always
that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I made the video is because I was mad because the 2019 Booker Prize is the one year that was shared by
it was shared but with her. Yeah.
And it was for that book. And do I think Margaret Atwood at one point deserved that prize? Sure. Did she deserve it for that book? No. Hunger Games is better written than that book, and I don't think Hunger Games should be up for a literary award prize. Like, I don't know. It was a bad book.
You know what's interesting too is that I feel like sometimes, like, I didn't think that my nonfiction political reviews, those are standalone reviews, they do good. And I'm very shocked because like the one that I did about Trump administration, Kellyanne Conway's new book, both of those videos have done well. And I think it's just because of the climate. But they also attract some not so.
Okay, so I have a video idea that I'm worried will have that effect, but I might still do it.
You can always ignore or turn off comments.
Oh yeah. I start hiding people from the channel at that point, because it's just like it does get poked, like you just said. It gets picked up outside of the book community. So I had somebody tell me on Kellyanne Conway's, he told me off in a comment because I didn't refer to Trump as President Trump. And he went on this whole entire tangent about how disrespectful I was. I said, you know what? If I wasn't trying to keep my blood pressure low, I would have laid into you. And when I lay into people, it's not pretty. But I said, I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to get my life right this year. But you know, when people keep trying your patience, it's only but so much. And somebody gonna catch me on the right day.
Listen, and catch these hands.
Y'all gonna catch me on the right day. Because so far with those videos, I have been very I haven't said anything to anybody. I just silently hide them from the channel.
Yeah.
But I have one that should be coming up maybe next week. And so I feel like it's gonna just come to a point where it's going to be a problem. But I think people enjoy those because it's like they don't have to read the book. I know when I read Kellyanne Conway's book, a lot of the comments that I got on that video was, thank you, because at least I know what was said in the book and I don't have to read the book. So I appreciate that. And it's, you know, I'm interested in it because I like politics. It's not always easy, but it's something that I enjoy doing, surprisingly, at least making the videos, not always reading the books.
I'm looking at my, I think my cooking videos. That's pretty much it. I do well. Oh, and when I sprint.
When you what?
Sprint.
When I sprint in my cooking videos, do well. When I go to book and cook. Oh, reviews. Do better than.
No, my top 5 videos right now are not that exciting. It's like TBR's wrap up. My recent release roundup is up there, which makes me happy. because those are a lot.
Top five like recent videos or all time?
Top 5 recent, but I guess I could look all time. I mean, one of them is my science behind the magic about what I do in the lab, for sure. I get some weird comments on that one. People be like, can I use biophysics as a dentist? I'm like, I don't know.
Wow.
What does that have to do with anything I've said? But okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, I can change
Angela,
this.
I love your Friday Reads videos. Those are my comfort videos from you.
I love them because they make me happy, and I love when anyone else ever does content like that. I'm like, yes, give me 10 to 15 minutes snapshot into your reading life right now, because
I love your Friday Reads videos. Like, I literally, those are my jams.
Also, update, I finished Far Sector, and oh my god,
I
give me
saw it on
everything like
Instagram.
Far
It's so
Sector.
good. It's so good.
No, Ashley, Bree, you guys read a lot of comics and stuff. What do I read after Far Sector? What even comes next?
Well, I feel like I don't want to wreck you anything because I have you reading some wild stuff.
Wow.
Well, I appreciate the world building and that it's like that it was fairly sci-fi. So I really liked those parts. And obviously it's Jemison and we can't get like another Jemison, but like
have you tried Saga?
I was
Have
just
you
about
tried
to say that. Bitterroot
Have I
is
tried
another
what?
good one. Bitterroot.
Bitterroot.
I haven't tried anything, guys. I've read like Killjoys by Gerard Way, and I've read this, and I've read All-Star Superman. I like superhero stuff.
You should maybe try Saga by Brian K. Vaughan. It's weird, but like it's really good, and it's interesting world building and the sci-fi, and it's sci-fi and
Bitterroot you would probably like as well. That was a good read, Brie.
So to put in context how like I don't ever have videos that like blow up in the traditional sense, my top is 4.8.
Monstrous has amazing world building and gorgeous art.
I've been wanting to try that one. But when will it be done and have its own bind up, or are we already in bind up mode? What's it at?
There are bind ups. There's like I have book one. Trade paperbacks or like books. Or like hardcover books.
I don't really care.
Okay, so they're in trade. So basically what ends up happening is whenever you have a comic series, like when it's serialized, they do trade paperbacks every maybe about 5 to 6 issues.
Yeah.
If a series is long enough or it gains enough traction, they'll start to put them into what they call hardcover collections, which is usually 2 of the trade paperbacks into one. Then if it continuously does good, they'll create what is called an omnibus, which will be, that could be anywhere in between 4 to 6 trades in one.
Or a book. Like they have a book one. I have book one for Monstrous, and I think it's like the first 4 trade paperbacks bound up. But they're expensive. Like they're really pretty, but
I would stick with if you're starting, I would stick with the because there's no telling when a bind up that big is going to happen. 2, they're expensive. 3, they don't stay in print very long because usually publishers print a limited amount intentionally. So you can get
but the trade paperbacks are good. You should, but and I think volume 1 in Monstrous is pretty inexpensive too, cheaper than the other trades because they want to like get people into it.
Should be.
But Monstrous has some of the best fantasy world building I've read in a graphic novel. It's like really interesting.
But man, I was just so impressed by Far Sector because like I'm not a noir detective person, and it was so good.
I love a noir detective.
I think I don't mind it now that I've read a few. If it's a woman as the detective, it's fine. If it's the dude and there's the typical femme fatale, and if it's done like really in the way I don't like the camp to be, like if it's campy in the fun way, I'm okay. But if it's campy in the like super misogynistic, I get very like, move on.
I wonder if, I don't know if you would like, Paper Girls is a very specific rec. I'm just thinking about stuff that's more sci-fi. That's time travel.
Yeah. I feel like you either will like it or won't.
I feel like Paper Girls also does not always typically age well. And Paper Girls is one that a lot of people give up by volume 3 because of the time travel element. But if you stick with it through volume 6, it all comes and it's complete and it's quick. Being 6 volumes in a serialized comic book series is actually very good because this one and done, like you don't have that much to go through. But
Yeah.
That's another. But Brian K. Vaughan does a lot of sci-fi, post-apocalyptic. That's kind of his area of expertise, and he does good in that area.
Yes.
Nice.
The Wicked and the Divine for me is, it can be a hit or miss with people. I enjoy The Wicked and Divine, and it is complete at, I think, 9 trades. It should be complete. It's about these gods and goddesses across a variety of different cultures. They live for 2 years and then die and then reincarnate, I think, every 90 years, but they take over the body of people who are already living. And so in the first volume, you meet them, and Lucifer is accused of killing someone that she possibly didn't kill. So you have a character who's trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together and figure out who these gods and goddesses are. The artwork in The Wicked and Divine is some of the best artwork that I've seen in comics. But it does shift. I think in volume 3 is where, or maybe it's volume 6. Either 3 or 6 is where it gets a little dicey.
You know, it's fun. If you type Wicked and Divine, it already brings up Saga and Monstrous. It also brings up Invincible, but I'm watching that in the TV show. And it has Paper Girls too.
Yeah.
Like
Those usually are, yep, they all kind
Yeah.
of run
Yeah.
in the same.
the algorithm
in the
groups
same
that
circle.
together.
Yeah.
Because they do. They all kind of they run in the same. I mean, they're very, very different because you have, even with Brian K. Vaughan doing Paper Girls in Saga, his writing is going to be very different between.
Yeah.
And Brie can attest to this because Brie has read.
I also
all
really
the-
like his Last Man series.
Oh, Why the Last Man? Yeah.
Why the Last Man? I mean,
Yeah.
like, some things about it haven't aged super well, which he's talked about publicly in terms of, like, it doesn't really do a great job of handling, like, trans identities so much, but, like, it's really interesting otherwise.
They were like sort of fixing that in the show, but I was too depressed to watch the show.
Mhm.
So,
I'll tell you, Paper Girls. He there was one character who consistently used offensive languages towards the queer community, and it didn't get better until like the last 3.
Mhm.
And it's 22 issues.
So that's, I mean, that's one of the things, and I always tell people, like, when you're going into comics, you have to, Brie and I have talked about this a lot, is you kind of have to understand the time in which a lot of this stuff was written. And the comic book industry has not been very friendly to people that are not white, cis, hetero men.
Yeah.
And so a lot of comics from, I mean, even when Saga was written, like, they don't age very well, but there are aspects of them that you can appreciate artistically, but just, I always tell people, like, be mindful that you're going to find some stuff that probably is cringeworthy, especially with Paper Girls. A lot of that can be cringeworthy when you think about how it's aged, and it has not aged well. And Sex Criminals is good, by the way.
I started. I was. October Fresh. That's good.
If you're also looking at Angela for it's a guy, I think he's from Nigeria. He started his own, it's called Unique Studios. Excuse me. He started his own company. And I read one of his first ones this year called Iyanu, and that one's getting an adaptation that's also fantasy, very interesting world. I think his comics are actually interconnected in some ways. But
how do you spell it?
IYANU.
150
Ooh,
years.
that cover is pretty.
Mm-hmm. The artwork in that one is a little dicey. I wasn't a huge fan of the close-ups in the artwork for that one, but I think the storytelling and how he's creating this entire world with this studio that he's created is going to make for a very unique experience because it's not, I think Dark Horse picked him up, like they're doing the publishing of it, but it's his own studio that he did create, and it's not like anything that I've necessarily seen in comics before. And plus, it's coming
The
from
aesthetic of this cover is very much me.
he's good. What he's doing is pretty good. I'm looking forward to reading more.
Like on the cover of Child of Wonder, is that like a lion, not a lion, a jaguar with like pink flowers on it? Like I'm very interested in this cover.
Can't tell you what that's about, but
I know you can't, but I'm just saying it's very, it's like,
it's very, yeah.
I love, and also like, I know it's magic, but it also could be like techie magic, whatever's happening with this bow and arrow, and I'm just very excited. I don't want to read the comics because I watch the show. My partner actually reads a lot of comics, and he's read it, and he has told me what diverges between the two, and I'm just like, some things I just prefer to consume in only one media. Like that's where I'm at with Invincible too, because I really like the Invincible show, but I don't really want to read the comics. And Ryan also read Invincible comics, and he didn't like them as much as the show.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's some good stuff. I like good storytelling.
I need y'all to read Fight Island though, Angela. You and Jessica.
I mean, I'm real tempted. You really sold it. So while you were describing this, I was at work, like developing samples, like trying to get these results. And you were like, I was looking at this cover, trying to understand what you were talking about as you're trying not to say certain words. And I'm just what is happening?
And then it was like a cliffhanger. Next book. I was like, Ashley, say more.
I couldn't, and like, bless Shay and I feel like Shay and Izzy both had put me on to that. And so because I think I had seen them both talk about it, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I said, I know they are not up here reading this thing. And I read it in April when we were doing the 30 and 30 thing. I read it in April and I was like, yo, this is good. Like, it is the cutest and most charming thing that I've ever read in my life. And the cover, you just would not like, and literally like just laughing like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that this is literally a thing, but it is a thing. And it's just like these ornaments that they wear are so beautifully designed. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're beautiful. And it's just like, I couldn't talk about it really like the
I'm
way
like trying to figure out how to search this from at my library without being judged by everyone.
You know what? I know that we don't buy it because it's one of those manga that's plastic wrapped when you buy it in the store. So you know, like it's just kind of like the content is just like, it's kind of rough, but it's really, really nice. It's just, I think it's funny because the main character has spent some time amongst like what would be our world, like in our world off the island. And so he learned some new tactics that they don't know. And so he goes back
tactics. We still don't even know how this fighting works because you won't tell us.
Well, the aim is to make each other, you know.
Okay.
Plays.
And so they wear the covering so that they can't be stimulated. But you have to find other tricks. And so he comes to our world and learns that there are other entrances that you can use to make that happen.
Oh my God. Bethany, you need to read this and do a spoiler somehow.
No.
Wait, Blades.
I already have to read the like milking farm thing this month.
I'm just saying this sounds perfect for Blades and Bodice Rippers. I'm just saying it seems right up there.
It is so good. It is so good. I love.
Somebody
I
was
love
saying,
it
"What book
so
are you
much.
all talking about?" What is it? Tell them what this is called. It's a manga, right?
Yeah, D Fight Island. I don't want to get this video flagged.
It reminds. It rhymes with Rick.
Yep, there you go.
It's the male genitalia.
Yes.
Fight Island.
Fight Island.
The cover is like real funny. This guy's got this huge grin on his face.
It's this, people. Okay.
I feel really bad for people who like are Richard and used to go by that nickname. Like I had an Uncle Dick.
Oh.
Like that was a real person.
Yeah. No.
Like, now, oddly enough, lived up to the name in terms of personality, but
That's embarrassing.
Oh, I really want to watch. I want to read
like that.
JoJo's Bizarre, but they're so expensive.
you've already sold a copy, Ashley.
And there's another company I want to
Literally buying this.
buying it now. You have to tell me, like, you have to tell me what you think of it, because
That is
it's
so
not what
weird.
anybody, like, when you think about it, you're like, oh, this is just going to be like hypersexualized, but
Mhm.
it's so, the romances are so cute.
If I ever get my life together, I want to take that 22 books in 2022. And I'm going to make my own video of taking 3 books that I never get to read, but that Ashley makes me want to read so bad. There's YA contemporary that I never read that I'm like, oh, I really want this.
Oh shit! But you know, like, I saw your comment, Angela. Like, that list was so hard to make because I feel like I've read so much this year, but nothing has really, like, it's not a lot that's like stood out. That's been like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to reread
Nothing's your new personality, yeah, except for D-Fight Island.
that. The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School and
I
Confessions
need to
of
read
an
that
Alleged
one.
Good Girl.
Yeah.
Those 3 right there. Oh, and Hell Followed With Us. Hell Followed With Us took me out.
When did that book get published again?
On
What month?
Blood on the Tracks.
Oh, Blood on the Tracks too. Woo, child. That's another one. That's wild.
But no, Ashley, the one with the trans rep and the wings on the cover, the one you just mentioned,
Yes,
what
Hell
month
Followed
did that
With
come
Us,
out?
That came out in June.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
I haven't filmed that
wanna
video yet for
I'm
June, and I
interested
wanted
in
to
that
make sure I
one.
had it.
It's
Yeah.
y'all. When I tell you, I keep
Oh,
telling
no.
people who, like, even at work, I keep telling people, like, I want so many people to read this book, but I cannot recommend that book without saying go to the Goodreads page and read every single content warning
Yeah.
that author has put out, because that book, I have never read anything that literally has made me say, whoo, all right, like, this is kind of like, this is a lot. It is, I mean, it's fantasy horror. Like, it's the wildest, but it's so, it's fantasy horror, but at the same time it's so steeped in reality, and that's what makes it scary, because I could see something like that happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's that was an intense one for me this year, but it was one that, like, I don't know when I would reread it because of how difficult it was to make it through the first time,
Yeah.
but it is definitely worth a closer reread. And Audrey from Perpetual Pages,
I saw their review, yeah.
Their
I saw their
review
review, yeah.
is very, very good.
Yeah.
Talk about another underrated booktuber who does all the work.
Talk
Like never
about,
gets any growth.
Yeah, Audrey is amazing.
Like
I
Audrey's
know
like
what-
one of those booktubers. Like Audrey and Ashley and a bunch of other people at Quarantine Pages were like the booktubers that I looked up to when I was doing my channel, because it's like the quality of work.
Just really phenomenal.
So
What book
this
was that? Oh, the book
is-
with the wings.
It's Hell Followed With Us.
Don't
The
tell
The
me.
cover looks really great. And then I think I
Yeah.
first heard about it because Jess and I were just talking and Jess was reading it. And then I saw Audrey's review and then your review. And I read the synopses and I was like, man, this is the first synopses in a long time that's like gripped me. Because it's like, that's a really well written blurb on the back of that book.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering which channel, Perpetual Pages, go follow Audrey. Audrey is amazing.
They recently had a recommendations video that was also fire. So.
Yeah. Oh, you found it?
Yay.
Have you read it yet?
I have.
You haven't?
I haven't. Let's be honest.
I'm not buying you any more books until you read that.
Okay. About my New Orleans library card.
Hmm?
That I have 24 Hoopla checkouts. So I just been downloading random comics, taking over my.
But I bought you that manga for a reason.
Gotta read it.
No, you know what? As a matter of fact, don't wait until I send. Wait, don't read it yet. Wait until I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna send you volume 2 and 3 too, because it's gonna aggravate you if you read it and you don't have another volume to pick up after you finish it. It is. It's gonna aggravate you.
How I felt when I only got manga,
Yeah.
volume.
Yeah. That's how you're gonna feel.
I'm gonna put it down.
You know what I thought? I was thinking today, too, Bree. I meant to text you. You should try out Urasawa's other stuff that he has. So he has that, Pluto, 20th Century Boys, Asadora. Like he's got a pretty extensive backlist.
Asadora.
Huh? You read Asadora? Okay, yeah.
But the 20th Century Boys is what I wanted.
Yeah, I just got a copy. I just checked out volume 1 of 20th Century Boys from the library because I wanted to read more of his stuff. What I've been doing is I'll read 2 volumes of something from the library if the library has it, and then I make a decision of whether I want to collect it. Because manga is not cheap.
No, but this one I want to collect Moriarty. I really
You really like it? Yeah.
Moriarty.
Bree, you're breaking up
I'm breaking up.
occasionally. Yeah.
Wow. Not
Are
to
Y'all,
any of you guys people who care about baseball or hate the Red Sox?
I do not care about sports.
I'm just letting you know that right now is the most atrocious loss that's ever happened in the history of baseball. If you just look at the score real quick, you don't even have to know baseball to know that this is really bad. But it makes me happy because I hate the Red Sox. And I know I live in Boston, but it's a lot. They really affect my commute.
That's fair. That's funny. Oh,
like,
man.
the score right now, it was 28-5.
It's 28-5. Oh.
Wait, why are you on? Oh, Bree, you're on like 2 different things.
Bree's gone now. It's just one Bree.
Okay.
The better.
Oh, good.
not home runs, but there's 28 runs. I mean, they got in one inning. Toronto got 11 runs. There was a grand slam that was in the outfield, like it didn't leave the stadium. They want my rent money. They're not getting rid of me.
What's the rent money? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had this exclusive in the book. Wow. I did not read this.
Oh yeah,
Bethany,
I'm wearing Mara's merch. I've personally explained the process to you, Deborah.
Once I ever have a real person job, I want to buy everyone's merch so bad. So here's the thing, as a hockey fan, I like the Bruins because Cleveland doesn't have a hockey team. I know. I told you there was a grand slide within their own outfield. It's atrocious how bad the outfield did. They didn't leave the stadium. But I got to a part in the blood trials, Bethany, where
hey, Michael.
it did a thing I wasn't expecting it to do, and I'm now scarred.
In the blood trials?
You're gonna have to tell me what part it is.
Well, there's a couple things, but there's some descriptions of what happens to human bodies, and I wasn't really prepared. I was on my commute going into work.
I told you it was adult, and it was graphically violent.
I'm getting really. I have a mini vent about how people describe dialogue in books. So there's a lot of times when a book's written by a female author and it gets published as an adult, and maybe it has YA crossover appeal or whatever, and they're like, it feels like young adult dialogue. And then I pick up something by Blake Crouch or by Andy Weir, and I'm like, this is the same type of dialogue, and you would never call this young adult, so I need you to stop. Because people were telling me that they thought the dialogue in the blood trials is YA, and I'm like, I don't know. Sounds like 20-somethings to me. What's your definition of an adult?
Right. Yeah.
What's the blood trials? What's that about?
It's war games so far. It's by
it's really good.
This is the author. I don't have my dust jacket.
That's a big book.
I have mine. Hold on.
That's a big book. That's a big book.
Yeah, it's 400 pages, 500 pages, 450 pages. There it is.
Fun.
Oh, I wanted to get the audio book. It was on
the audiobook's okay. I don't love the narrator that much. It's serviceable. It's fun.
I read it physically, so I don't know, but it's It is very violent. This is, yes, it's really good. This is why I compared it to Red Rising.
But that's like another thing is people don't call Red Rising young adult when I think Red Rising has the same whatever type of dialogue we're talking about. This like
it has the same kind of dialogue, but it's also incredibly violent in the same sort of way. Like it's very similar to Red Rising in some ways. Not
it just like it just bothers me because like I'm actually not hating Project Hail Mary right now, which I'm listening to, but it's also extremely immature and cutesy. Like I don't understand how adult men read this and are like, this is high literature.
Bethany's face though told the whole story.
But like,
I'm not hating Project Hail Mary. Bethany was like,
I'm not hating it as much as I hated Dark Matter because whatever this dude's name is, Ryland Grace is a less bad version of Jason.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
this sounds
Marlana,
like
listen, I changed the title of the video. No. I don't think a sprint is going to happen.
I think no one should expect reading sprints at a Bethany reading sprint. That's not what it is.
That's not true. It's when I'm with Ashley that they don't happen.
Wow. Keep doing my good.
Ashley, I didn't come for you.
You didn't, Angela. We've been vibing tonight.
But it's okay. But you know what? It's okay. I knew when we set this up that's why I put in the title maybe, because I knew it was possible. I was prepared to just hang out. It's fine.
You text me promising sprints to me, and there hasn't been a sprint in sight.
Oh, did I?
I showed up ready.
Oh, I was promised nothing.
Oh God, my brownie got to be burned. It has
no, Red Rising is adult. It's for sure.
It is adult. It's adults. It's definitely adults. Yeah.
I have a very simple definition of what is YA or adult, and it is how much did that book cost? It's really basic. Like it's really was the imprint. It's because it's just a marketing device most of the time, right? Like if you want to, is it marketed for teenagers? Is it marketed for adults?
It's not all Ashley. I'm not pushing us to do sprints either. It's not all Ashley's fault. I'm just chatting.
It's all right. I'll take y'all know when y'all come on my channel. Don't expect sprints.
Oh, I know. It's all right. It's fun. we hang out. It's good. Oh no.
I can't decide if I'm going to like the Stardust Thief. I hear
I hear like radically different. Yes, same.
I don't know. I could love it. Or I think if I go into it with the expectations of like a midweight fantasy, I'll have a good time.
Well, I burned my brownies.
What's funny is I wasn't on Brandy's sprints last night, but I was watching Brandy's sprints when Bree was there for a minute, and Bree was just came in to cause chaos and left at those sprints. But that was just like a Thirsty Thursday sprint, and it was really fun.
I came in, I started, and
truly started violence, and then left.
Sometimes you got to keep people humble. Sometimes, just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, man, just chill. Well,
yes,
so,
Jessica, you and I have like similar taste. We always agree on the same things about books. Like I think Project Hail Mary should win the Goodreads Choice Awards, but if it wins the Hugo, I'm giving up. Like I just can't.
I would please don't let it win the Hugo. Oh no.
I mean,
exactly. Ashley's just too interesting to talk to.
Well, so especially when you compare Project Hail Mary to A Desolation Called Peace, which is what you have to do for the Hugo, it's like, no, A Desolation Called Peace does Alien Contact so much better. Like, what are we even talking about?
What is Dark?
Yes, so much better. Like
Stardust.
So much better. The Stardust Thief is like a new fantasy. It's like a
1001 Nights retelling.
1001 Nights inspired fantasy.
Like it has Aladdin, and it has something in the Thieves. I forget the name.
I have not read The Final Strife. I really want to.
I want to.
I want to read it so
much.
I feel like I'm gonna love it.
But every time I see it at the bookstore, it's a thick girl, and I get scared of it. Like,
it is really thick. I have it sitting here. I'm low-key. I'm kind of hoping because it's in a poll. So some of my patrons, like some of the higher tiers, get to vote on books for me to vlog and suggest them. So it's one of the books they suggested. It's in a poll that's getting voted on, and I'm kind of hoping it's one of the two winners. So it'll force me to read it. We'll see. I'm like, we'll see.
I know Deshaunna's read The Final Strife, right?
Which award?
Yes,
What's? I
she
mean, I don't
loved
even know
it.
what the Oscars are. I barely know what the Oscars are for the Oscars, but
I don't know.
if the Oscars are meant for drama and high art, then the Booker's the closest.
Yeah.
Like because I mean, the Oscars don't talk about genre in films and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like again, I don't actually think awards are that important. I just think they measure something, and sometimes I don't want them to measure like airport reads. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Like there are, I think that's what the Goodreads awards are for. That is for your average person is at the airport and picking up that book.
Yep. You're right.
That was
You're
a
right.
bunch of stress.
100%.
Stephanie just got stressed out from that. Are you doing another live show this year?
Of course.
I've already been on one Goodreads video this year. How many more can there be?
No, for Goodreads Choice Awards. I always do lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, like live reactions to that is always fun. Yeah, definitely doing that.
No, they never get it right.
No, never.
I won't lie to you. When I be thinking, am I really a thriller and mystery and horror reader? And I look at Goodreads lists, and almost every year I've only read like one book from each category. So I'd be like, so what am I reading? Maybe it's because
well, I have usually read the majority of the fantasy books that end up on adult fantasy. Like I've usually have read like more than half of them.
Also, Kissy, I do know it was supposed to come out this year. It got pushed because, like, everything, the editor for it left because everyone's leaving everything. But I not going to lie, there will not be an unbiased review of that book on my channel. I'm going to try so hard to like that book no matter what. Like, I really want it. I think it's because Ashley's around or Bree. It's whenever one of them is around, I feel more comfortable. It's when I feel safe.
I love that. I love that.
I mean, Angela, every time you're on my channel, you're sassy.
It's a safe place.
I'm glad.
But honestly, real talk, if I'm ever so sassy, I upset someone. Someone has to tell me because my ability at reading social cues are like.
I think you're fine.
Listen,
I think you're fine.
There's certain authors where I just know I am not. Don't come to me if you want a biased review. One of them, N.K. Jemisin. Don't come to me.
Like, I read Far Sector. I almost forgot it was Jemisin, even though it's so obviously Jemisin. I'm like, why am I loving this so much? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's my favorite.
It's Jemisin. Shit's so good.
Don't come to me.
So good.
Brandon Massey, don't come to me. Because if you come to me thinking you about to get some I hate Brandon, I'm going to punch you. Like, I'm not. No, I am a fan. Okay? I will. No. Love that man.
Amanda, you are reading all the best sci-fi right now.
I love it.
No, I just want to desperately have a Venezuelan fantasy book. Not magical realism. And also Venezuelans are more known for their poetry from what I can tell. I can't really find books that are translated for me to read because I try.
Yeah.
But
I told myself one day I was gonna do a book is Angela right? Like a video and read Merit just to see if I get those similar vibes. I'm gonna go into it completely lost. I don't know what it's about. I just hear you rant about it a lot.
Which book again? Sorry.
Merit.
I for some reason I'm missing the first sound of that word.
Oh, Merit.
Merit. I've read a book called Merit.
I thought you read Merit. Huh.
Have I read Merit? What's Merit about? Is that a book?
It was a sci-fi book. Someone mentioned it, and I thought I associated that book with you.
I'm done.
I mean, once someone thought I read The Three Body Problem because I read Ken Liu, but I'm like, no, I have no interest in reading The Three Body Problem. You put this on your list based off my recommendation, but I do not support reading The Three Body Problem.
Listen, mistakes were made.
I'm sorry, Michael. This is.
I'm just saying.
I think he's like,
it's a hysterically bad baseball score. It's so bad.
I believe you. I'm like,
baseball numbers should never be like above
he's not
12.
wrong. Like,
Listen, you said 6 or 3, and I was like, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I know soccer scores are usually low. I don't know what
Correct.
baseball scores usually are. I just
They're also
don't
usually low. They're also
like. I don't care
usually
about
low.
sports. Honestly, I kind of hope that my kids don't get into team sports because I don't want to have to go to games.
It's amazing what happens once you're forced to be around sports. Do you think I naturally care about sports? No, I have very heteronormative partners who care about sports. This happens to me.
Like, I married a person who's not into sports so that I don't have to watch sports. So I don't want my kids to be into it because then I have to go to games. I'm like, I did all of this so I don't avoid that because I grew up having to watch it and I don't like it.
There's only one sport that I will live and die by, and I watch it religiously. Gymnastics.
Yes. I also like ice skating. That's like winter gymnastics for me, but yes.
I don't pay attention. Gymnastics, I'm in that thing. I'd be like, wow, if you took a 0.5 off a vault, really? Because she jiggled a bit? Hello. Like,
I sometimes use gymnastic metaphors when I write books. I'm like, it had a good takeoff. It did a good spin in the air, but we did not hit the landing. There were a couple hops. We got off. I do that. I don't know if anyone notices, but that's how I talk about books.
So, like, what's fun about sports in person is not the sport. It's the stuff around the sport.
Yes.
It's like the food and the music and the performance stuff. Like baseball, I don't care who wins, so I'll leave early so that there's not traffic. Like, I don't care.
You guys want to see the terrifying mascot for the
I have
Cleveland
gone
Guardians?
before.
It's a terrifying mascot. I don't know how as a kid I wasn't scared, but this is our mascot. It's a terrifying monster.
I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to go straight to hell.
It's terrifying.
Do not become a sports fan. No, I do not want to do this.
Sorry,
like,
you guys are hearing my
I don't know. I'm like my so far, like one of my kids is into chess. I can go to a chess tournament. That's fine. Sure. I'm happy to go to a chess tournament. And then like one of my kids wants a mermaid tail. So I'm like, you become a good swimmer, we'll get you a mermaid tail. Sure.
You know, I appreciate the fact that you go to these things. I think my mom made me do sports, but she couldn't be there and neither could my dad just because of work. So my parents were never at any of my sporting things.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't really care. I don't feel like I was abandoned or anything. I also didn't like doing it. It was purely my mom's like, you need to have a sport. Do it.
I remember I lied and told my mom, mainly my dad, that I was on the basketball team. I wasn't.
Oh, no. Baseball is really only interesting in person. Truly.
Oh, man.
Baseball is one of the most
listen, like I love that there are people who are fans of it. I think everyone should be fans of their own things. Is just not my thing.
So my least favorite sport for a long time was football, and now I know enough about it that it's not atrocious, although scientifically I have to like not think about what's happening to these humans' bodies a lot.
Yeah.
But I went to Ohio State University, which if you don't know is a big football school. Huge. And then I now live in Boston, which if you don't know has the Patriots. And like,
I did my master's at USC, and like, do I care about football? No. Does everybody there obsessed with the college football team? Yes.
Our commencement speaker was a Heisman Trophy winner. That's how obsessed they are. And also his big part of his speech was, I fumbled a football once. And then the next game, I broke records. And it basically was, sometimes you fumble, you have to get back up. And I'm like, we graduated. We know that. We did that. We got here.
I did grow up watching because like my family of origin was very into sports. I just didn't get the bug.
Family of origin.
You know,
such a unique way of saying like,
well, it's because like the family I live with now is different from the family I grew up with. So it's like, I don't know how else to put it. Like my parents and my grandparents and like, well, not my mom, but like my dad and my grandparents and like some of my brothers were into sports.
I guess probably I would have just said, and I don't think what you said was wrong. I think I just would have gone with when I grew up, like, and I just assumed the old family.
Yeah. It's late. I'm tired. It's like 11, almost 11:30.
I'm really not judging. It's been how long? How hot has it been in New York and Boston for how many days?
So
The fact
hot.
that we're functioning.
So hot. Yeah.
Football is a second religion down south.
It is. I know.
College football is a
The
huge
SEC
thing.
is something else. It
Okay,
is
so
something.
don't listen. Don't hate on the SEC. I'm
It's
part of the
something.
SEC. Like that is it is very. It is.
Are you a Bama girl? Do you love Alabama? What's your
Absolutely
school?
not. I'm not a Roll Tide girl. Absolutely not. I don't really like. Honestly, I went to my university is in SEC, and so we played everybody from Alabama to Arkansas to Florida Gate. Like so,
You played Georgia, yeah.
Georgia Tech. Like everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the games are very intense. The student section was very intense. Not they no. Who are
I know, right?
Okay, listen. So I realized the outside is very burnt, but the inside is not.
Perfect.
It's like when you burn a marshmallow, the inside is the
gooey part. I don't understand people who watch NASCAR.
I was always an Indy 500 girl.
Yeah.
But why?
Oh, because the parents take you to a party where all the adults are drunk and you get to gamble. They let you pick a number of a car, and then in 3 hours you get to know who wins and you might get money.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what happened to me.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh no, that's bad. That's not gonna last.
Man.
Oh, that's really rough.
That's
I don't know. Like my kids like watching people play Minecraft, which I feel like is similar to people who are sports fans.
You want something, Ryan?
No.
Okay. No,
This is the thing that I always think is funny is like, you know how there's people who will be like, I just don't understand these kids who like watch gaming on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, it's basically the same as you watching sports. Like it's the same thing. Like watching another person, like why would you do that instead of just playing it yourself? I'm like, why would you watch a football game instead of playing it yourself? I don't know.
Like I'm not good enough to play games like Elden Ring. I watch other people do it, and it's really
my
fun.
husband plays Elden Ring. He finished that
my partner finished playing it. And there's a new game called Stray that has a cat, so I'm going to watch someone play that. I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
I like watching people do The Sims. I think that's a little...
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't have the, like, attention span for video games. I think, you know, what people have issues reading books because they're like, that's so much work. It's like, well, it's really easy for me to sit down and pick up a book. It is really hard for me to sit down and start playing a video game. I have that same, I think, block.
Yeah. I used to play more, like, but the problem is that the kinds of video games I enjoy tend to require large time commitments, and I just don't have that available anymore. And so it's really hard because, like, my favorite video games are ones that do in-depth world building and storytelling and character development, which I just get from books, which is faster and easier now, mostly, you know?
Well, I actually did figure out with Ryan that, like, in the time it takes him to play some really long, like, open world fantasy games is about as long as it would take me to read an entire series.
Yeah.
So, like, it is kind of comparable. It's just different ways of immersion storytelling, but I'm just not good at it. So I'd have to also practice. And that's, like, you don't have to, well, I guess you do practice reading. Like, you can improve as a reader, but it's a little different. I think it's more work playing a video game.
I love ContraPoints. She's like one of the only people I'm a patron to.
I also have like a very addictive personality, hence like how I've gone all in on booktube and stuff. It's like when I start a video game, I like the video games I'm not allowed to play are 4X games. So those are like civilization games, like Civ 6 and stuff. Because when I start one of those, and those games take 48 to 50 hours to play, I don't stop playing it until it's done, and one should sleep. One should do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
When do we all start the new series? I was trying to catch on, and then I forgot to get the book from the library.
Oh, which series? Graceling? Are you thinking Graceling? Next month.
Okay. Let me find it. See if I can find it on Libby.
I mean, it's an older book, so it should be.
Have you read Are you planning to read? Who's the author? Tasha Suri has a 4-book fantasy series. Am I making that up? Is that Emberblade? Who does that one?
Oh,
Not Tasha Suri. Oh, what's her
no.
name? Sabatahir.
Sabatahir, yeah.
There it is. Have you read that one?
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. So you're not going to do a read. I was going to be like, if you ever do a read along for that one, I'll join in. Because that's one of the YA ones I want to read.
No, I've already read those. Sorry.
I know. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can do it,
No.
and then you participate.
I can't do what Bethany does and just perpetually have read-alongs going. I'm doing one this year. Just one.
I do
And even
too
that
many.
is causing me more anxiety than it should.
Yeah, I probably do way too many read-alongs. I have like a lot running.
Same,
But
same. I have like 10 of them. It feels. It's not.
I don't know
10.
what Frostpunk is, but I don't think I need that in my life based off what you just said.
I mean, right? Oh wow.
Oh.
That's
I
rough.
forget to blink. Does that happen to anyone if I'm playing? Like, I'm really good at Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution, but I forget to blink during those because you'll miss the step, and then I wear contacts.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really good at Guitar Hero because it's like playing clarinet, which I used to play clarinet.
No. Man, I did none of that. I did a lot of hood rat stuff with my friends when I was a youth.
I did theater and speech and debate.
I did theater and band because our sports team sucked at my high school. So the closest thing to cool was just like picking the stuff that had people in it. And band happened to have the most popular kids. Like all the swim team kids were there, and the swim team was the only good team. So I wouldn't go as far to say that band kids were popular, but we weren't unpopular. I don't know. It was a really weird situation.
I was not popular, but I had a good group of friends.
I think I was in a weird position where I wasn't popular, but people knew who I was, and that was really weird. Like, because I wasn't popular. I wasn't invited to things.
Same. I never smoked. Sorry.
No, me either.
Not talking to folks. I think I was.
French horn?
I think people thought I was popular because my cousins were, but I wasn't. It was by proxy.
I love the French horn. I can't play
I
it because
was
I'm bad at brass, but I love it.
I feel like I was probably a little bit annoying because I was very like religious and talked about it a lot, but like most of my friends weren't. But I would be like the mom of the group who would be like, you shouldn't smoke, you're gonna get lung cancer.
Wow.
That was-
I would have said, look, if this friendship's gonna work, no, I'm just kidding. But I was in my mind.
I mean, I don't think there's a personality that comes through high school that isn't annoying to some degree.
I mean,
like, I don't know.
That's
Like,
probably true.
we're
That's
all
fine.
figuring out who we are and also trying to blend in and not make waves. Like,
Yeah.
At least that was me. I just really wanted to blend in, and then I could not purchase jeans. And I realized I just should have been going to different stores, but I didn't realize that till I was 28 because I wouldn't fit into white girl jeans, but I could have fit into like black girl jeans, but I didn't know that. And my mom didn't know that because my mom is very white. And my dad didn't know that because my dad is essentially white and Venezuelan. It was such a struggle.
Sorry.
I don't know. Having like a 23 waist and a 40 hip was not, and I'm 5'2". It was not it.
Yeah. Yep. Can relate.
And the low rise phase needed to die. I wanted it
Yes.
to burn in a
It
fiery
really
fire.
did. Yes. High waist is so much better.
I love
Private
the good
school.
going.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. This is true though. Private school, because I went to private school for like middle school and the first half of high school, and it was not a good time. Like when I moved to public school, life was so much better.
Yeah, my mom didn't like private school. My mom's not Catholic, but she went to a Catholic school. She didn't enjoy that. Yeah, like, I don't know. There was something nice about being in the band. You were for sure at least a part of a community, which felt nice.
Yeah, no, same. I know. I also like want to like apologize. Yeah, there are things I wish I could apologize for high school and college when I'm like, I'm so sorry that I thought this was right because it was not.
Same.
But,
Same.
yeah. Oh, no, Renee.
At least someone told you.
Oh no.
I think my friends just never told me. Like, my friends would be like, you're not smiling right for pictures, because I wasn't smiling with my eyes. It was just I looked psychotic in pictures.
Oh no.
And this was during the Facebook era, and no one would tell me how to fix it.
Oh no.
Obviously, I have fixed that, or else no one would have ever clicked on a thumbnail I have ever put up. But
My
Oh my
cousins
gosh.
used to get so mad at me because every photo I would take would be like, I was never there. Like, you need to smile, like for real, and I would be like, just like everywhere, not taking
Oh man.
pictures how you supposed to. Oh well, I was living my
Ashley's
life.
being quiet because Ashley was cool in high school.
You know she
What?
was.
Yeah,
You
I
think
bet.
I
I'm
was-
sure she was.
You think I was cool in high school?
I bet.
That's funny.
I think you were cool in college.
I was cool as shit in college.
Me too. I was the shit in college.
I was a shit in college.
I was not.
Oh, popular. Me?
Yeah, yeah. College was a completely different
No.
experience. College
Wow.
was
I was that
Listen.
girl.
I hit my stride in my mid-20s. Like I was not.
I
I
did
hit that
fine in
stride
college.
freshman
I was
year.
on a ballroom team, though, and you can't be popular at Ohio State because there's 60,000 people. Like, that's impossible. Even the popular people, I didn't know who they were, so they couldn't be popular, right? Like, if I don't know your name.
If I don't know you. Yeah.
I
It's
think.
funny.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's funny. I think me and my husband both like are much cooler now than we were even when we met each other. Like I just we're like late bloomers socially. So,
No, I felt like college was where I really stepped into my own. It's so funny because like now, like people will be like, "Oh yeah, I went to college with Bree," and I'm like, "Who the hell are you?" Like I don't remember
Yup.
these folks.
Yup. Yup.
Remember these folks? And I feel bad. Like one of my coworkers, he had like stories about like how like he would say how iconic I was, and I was like, I do not remember you, sir. Like I have no idea who you are. I was literally that girl. That's the only time I'm gonna brag about myself. was
That
college.
college was a time I think in which I
I'm alive.
have the fondest memories
The
of
fondest.
life from college. I also just college was a lot of fun for me. Those were like the best 4 years. And if I could go back and redo it without the educational piece and just the social, I have a lot of good memories from college. High school was I was very I was in, I was one of the nerdy kids. Like, I mean, I was in AP and IB classes, like, and I went to a school that was, I mean, I think we were pretty much like half and half, although I think that shifted a little bit by the time I was a junior in high school. But like, I was a girl that had glasses and braces at the same time and used to have my hair cornrowed. Like, what the fuck? I can think about that now, and I'm like, yo, who let me walk out the house with my hair cornrowed, glasses, and not the cute frames now? Frames now look cute. Back in the day, frames was not that cute, and I had braces. But I feel like I blossomed also in high school. By the time I had turned like 16, is when I grew into myself. But freshman and sophomore year, but by the time I was a junior and senior, like I wouldn't say I was popular. I could float between groups and be good, but I wasn't popular. But college, man, I
My
got
spot,
stories
my
for
house was
days.
the club everybody went to. Like we
Huh?
were on the breeze, and I was cooking. I was literally
Listen.
club, and then I will cook you a meal and line you up, braid your hair. I have to say, I done got me a couple coins. What the plug?
Yeah, I mean, I just like I think, and then it was interesting going in as a freshman and a sophomore, and then things got even more intense once I pledged. Once I pledged, like even that was a different ball game because, and I don't like it, but it is what it is. Like especially when you go, because I went to PWI, so the Black community was already very I won't say tight knit, but we were a unit because there was not that many of us. I say it was like a couple of hundred of us. But once you pledge, it was a different social status, to be honest with you. you walk around with Nalia on, so like, jackets, t-shirts, whatever, and people, I didn't do well with it because I surprisingly, like, I don't do well with in real time attention. I
Mm.
get very awkward. And so like I remember right after I crossed, I had worn a t-shirt that had my sorority across the t-shirt, and like people will literally stare and talk. You'd be like, people will talk to you and be like, I don't know you. And it wasn't like, I don't know you, don't talk to me. It was like, this is awkward because I literally do not know you.
Yeah.
And you're having a whole conversation. And the only reason why you're talking to me is because I have something that you want. So
Yeah.
that in itself got a little, but I will say that when I pledged, the road tripping got insane. Like, we went all the way to DC. And I think this is another thing that I liked about D9. Like, when we went to DC for the 100th anniversary, like, you hit up the chapter wherever you're going, and you're like, me and my line sisters are about to be in your city, and they house you.
Wow.
They open up because that's just the thing to do. Like,
Uh-huh.
whenever we went to even like our rival university, like, we would go up there and we would hang out with their chapter, and they would always be like, somebody has an apartment that y'all can stay in, blankets, pillows, whatever you need, you good to go. Only thing that we were doing was paying for gas to get there. So the road tripping was just like, and my line was like the girls that I pledged with, like, we were specifically known as what they call road tripping reds, because
Mm.
we'd be up and down the East Coast. Just, I mean, the road trips would just be insane. So I have some very, very um fun and crazy wild, like, I drank a lot in college. So I don't remember a lot from college. um there was one night, because this is one that I just can't forget. It was one night I had me and this other girl, we were close friends in college, and for some reason we thought it would be cute if we split a bottle of Captain Morgan,
Amen.
split a Four Loco, if y'all
And this
remember
was
what.
the original Four Loco,
The
wasn't it?
original Four Loco, not what they have now. This is the
My
original
partner,
Four
it
Loko.
heard me say that and went, "Oh God," in the other room.
Yeah. Because the original, whatever they put in Four Locos now, is they had to remove the ingredients from the original because it was dangerous. And we were drinking beer. When I tell y'all, it made no sense what was going on that night, when you both wake up and you're like, yo, like, never again. Will never. I promise you, there is too many times I'll be like, I'm never drinking again. 2 weeks later, who's trying to drink? So now when people are like, Ashley, let's drink, I'm like, I don't drink. I've done that, been there, done that. I can't drink like that anymore because of college. Like, literally, I can't drink Hawaiian Punch because Hawaiian Punch was used so much as a
Jungle
mixer
juice, yeah.
that when I drink Hawaiian Punch now, I am expecting to get drunk. And so I just don't drink Hawaiian Punch anymore because my mind literally has been conditioned to think that I will somehow get drunk off of drinking regular Hawaiian Punch. I hate Hawaiian Punch. I hate small styrofoam cups. I don't like the texture of those anymore. It's a lot. It's a whole lot.
That's why I had to stop mixing things in orange juice, because I used to drink orange juice for breakfast, and when I would mix stuff in it, I would almost like have the phantom alcohol taste, which I
Yes.
don't like. But like it's not there. It's just orange juice.
Yes, yes. And so like, and then too, like, the frats used to have their signature drinks. So the frat that my sorority is tied to is Omega Psi Phi, and they would make what they called oil, and it's purple, and it tastes like juice. It tastes like nothing, like absolutely nothing.
That
But
is so dangerous.
it would tear you up because you had, and to this day, I never knew. I don't know what they put in oil. I have no idea what was ever in it. But I just know that when somebody made a batch, it was just like, and then people used to soak the fruit in alcohol overnight and then put it in to the oil. So people would be eating the fruit and just be, I mean, trash, completely trash. My dad used to say, I don't know how you ever made it through college. Because when I was a freshman, he picked me up, and it was, I forget what it was, but we had went to some bars in the downtown area, And I mean, it's really, I think about it like in college, like it's bad. Like how many people like have fake IDs, like you go bar hopping. Like I was in bar hopping, like 17 years old bar hopping. And I drink a lot of tequila. And I had to
Tequila's
move
the
out of
one
the
liquor that
dorm.
won't give me a hangover. It's my favorite.
Ex-
I
but
don't know
listen,
why.
but listen, I mean, I eventually got to that space, but tequila is still my choice of poison to this
I mean, I
day.
don't drink much anymore because my body actually like hates it. Now that I have other options, as you saw in one of Bethany's other lives, I have other options now. But tequila is what I go to if I truly am in a situation where alcohol is the only way to make myself less socially anxious.
Yeah, tequila is usually my first go-to too. But I was 17 drinking tequila, had to
Living
move
it
out
up.
the dorm the next day, and I clearly was not ready to move. And I just felt, I mean, it was horrible. And like I just knew, oh, my dad's not going to be able to tell. He does not know
Oh,
that.
please.
Oh, please. We got in the car. He said, next time, don't go out and get drunk before I have
Oh
to come
my
pick you up. And I
gosh.
was like, how do you know? He's like, what do you mean? I've been there and I've done that.
Listen. Yeah, I was 17 most of my first year of college actually, but like I was always such a rule follower, and I went to like a private Christian university for undergrad where
Mhm.
like they had all these rules about stuff. So I didn't drink uh really until I turned 21, and even then like I've only been like very very drunk once because I was like, this is an experience I think I should try once to see what it's like, and I was
What
like,
it's
I'm
like.
never doing this again, and that's
You know
it. Like
what?
I
I
just
wish
like you
I
know.
wish I could say that. I wish I could say I've only been very, very drunk one time, but
It's
I
been a
couldn't tell you.
handful of times. One time I don't have regrets except for the fact that like I didn't feel good the next day, but I was going to a party that I knew would only have cheap beer, and I hate beer with every fiber of my being. So I'm like, I need to take shots before we go. So I had 3 shots of Jose Cuervo because someone said college turned him off from Patron. I could not afford Patron. I don't know who you are, but I had Jose Cuervo. And I did that, and then I got there, but then there were shots of peppermint schnapps with chocolate. And so
Oh,
that
yeah.
night really got away from me, and I can't have peppermint schnapps anymore.
Well, even with beer though, like we
Oh yeah,
used to
all the
shot
football games I was going to, right?
we
No.
used to
No, we didn't have a
shotgun.
football team. Like my undergrad school didn't have a football team.
That's the one good thing about Boston University. I hate their cost of tuition. In no university do they provide a service that is worth $50,000 a year. They're out of their minds, but they don't have a football team. So
I
Count your wins.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see I really like if I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think that, blessings on blessings that, because I've been in situations where like I've had people who have looked out for me because I've gotten, you know what I'm saying? Because I've gotten so drunk. Like
Yeah.
there used to be a bar downtown that used to have a power hour, and they used to
Mhm.
have drinks for $2. You could drink as much as you could drink in an hour.
Oh
That's just
no.
a dangerous, it's like it's a dangerous
That's really
situation.
dangerous.
It's
did
really
you have
it's
bars
really
that have those
dangerous.
like chalices you can get, and then like on a
Oh,
Thursday you can get the well drinks? I'm like, how is this legal? I moved to Massachusetts. They don't even have happy hour, but like in Ohio, for like $4 on a Thursday, you can fill this like half pint
Yes.
with like
Yeah.
any cheap
Yeah.
drink, rum and coke,
Oh my
whatever.
god.
Yeah. But what's
Yeah,
also
there was
wild
a
too
bar
is
that
like
had
I feel like the ways in which I would drink, and not just, like me and the environment that I was in and everybody that was drinking, the ways in which we would drink, like with beer, we would
Mhm.
shotgun beer, which is the quickest way to get torn up on. Like, have y'all ever seen somebody shotgun a beer? It
it's
is,
not good.
huh?
It's not good.
It's not. It is literally like the quickest way to consume a beer. And we used to, I mean, like, being around people who like funnels and keg stands and shotgunning, it's no wonder. But see, we were a
Mhm.
big football school. So
Yeah.
tailgating, like homecoming,
Saturday, you start drinking at 8 a.m. for that
you
noon
start
game.
drinking as soon as you wake up in the morning. By the time you get to the game, people are pissed drunk. Like, I mean, just off their rock, just
And college
drunk.
football games are longer than professional games. It doesn't make sense because they're
Yeah.
technically shorter, but they take more time.
Yes.
It's like so
I'm telling you.
Olivia, that's great. Excellent. I mean, honestly, like it's also just like so dangerous and so bad for you. And like, I'm glad I didn't, that it wasn't, well, especially honestly in hindsight, because like have some family history with alcoholism
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
can be a
Same.
genetic thing. And so I'm like, and
Yeah.
I have a more addictive personality with some stuff. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
I never really,
Yeah.
Well,
did
and like
that
I
when I
get
was that
annoyed
young.
because like it is so socially acceptable to so abuse alcohol. Like it truly
Yeah.
is, right? We're telling all
It
these
is.
stories and like everyone has these types of stories or knows someone with them. It's a very socially acceptable things, but like other recreational things that are not nearly as dangerous for your body, people are in jail for. And it
Yeah.
drives me up the wall because scientifically that does not destroy your liver. That does not
Right.
produce an addictive response.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like I'm just
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, between that, I mean, I was introduced to a lot of things in college. Like I've seen some wild, because of where I was. I mean, like, you want to talk about like going to a bar and seeing two girls go into a stall and snort coke off the top of a toilet bowl. Like, that's how wild, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So you get introduced. I haven't ever done cocaine because I feel somebody's going to say, Ashley got introduced to a lot of stuff. And she did. I had never done cocaine. Okay, I just want to make that clear right now. Like I
I love how
said,
you
This,
say
I feel
that,
like
but
this
we can't
video
talk
is so
about
going
the
to be
White
like
Island book.
demonetized.
I just wanted to, because I felt like the way I worded that just now, like, oh, I was
Yeah,
introduced to a lot
yeah.
of stuff, and then like no. And I feel
Ashley, if they came for you, I was gonna come for them. So
okay, 'cause I was about to say like, I was like, hold on, let me
Yeah.
clarify right now. I'm not like make
Yeah,
this seem
yeah.
like
But you were exposed to people using some really high level stuff.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean like, but see, also I think also it's like the environment that I grew up in. Like, the first time I drank, I had to be like 8. The first time I had a drink.
oh, I was 22 in
Yeah,
Paris.
the first time I had alcohol, I was probably about 8. The first time that I did a recreational,
Uh-huh.
you get where
Thing.
I'm going with that. I was
Yeah.
14. So you know
Wow.
what I'm saying? So like it's so by the time I got to college, like the recreational piece was, you wake up, it's part of your day, and you go about your business, and then the drinking was just added. And it is, knowing who I am now as an adult, a lot of that was, and just how I function mentally and
Mm-hmm.
what I have going on mentally, like a lot of that stuff was super dangerous.
Yeah.
And like and not knowing where stuff was coming from too is also like that was dangerous too, because I know a guy who actually did that in college, and somebody laced his stuff, and he never was like, he was off.
Oh
He
my
was off
God.
the chain after that one time. He was never the same after that. And so, you're depending upon, because as a woman, I wasn't going out like meeting up with somebody and doing this. I was relying on someone else to get it from someone else. And even in that situation, like that was inherently dangerous now that I think about it, not really knowing where stuff was coming from.
Oh
And
my God.
I felt like at
See,
one
I
point,
was like, I would have been way too scared to, because that would like
yeah.
way
I
too
don't. I
freaked out
mean,
by
I
that.
guess.
I just,
I guess because it never. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I've had a bad experience with it. I was one time I tripped. Like, I tripped hard. Where
Mhm.
like I was seeing stuff in like my peripheral vision, or like hearing things, because I
Oh
feel
my
like it
God.
was potentially mixed with something else. But
Mhm.
like, I think when you grow up in an environment, especially culturally, where, because my first experience dealing with that was amongst Jamaican relatives. So it was not abnormal for something like that to
Jessica.
happen, where my dad and my aunt were going to the basement to smoke. So of course, us being teens, what are we going to do? Follow? Nobody's home. We're going to follow right behind them and do that. So I don't know.
Mhm.
It's a very, very strange type of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, yeah, that just wasn't. Um,
No, I mean, my situation was really different because my mom doesn't do anything and neither did my dad. And the first time I saw adults
Yeah.
drunk, I was 12. and my mom wasn't there. I was with my grandfather and like a bunch of my cousins, and everyone got drunk, and my sibling and I are like the only young children. And I didn't know what it meant for people to be drunk, but it was like a really weird experience. And like we kind of ran away to our own bedroom because everyone was so loud and acting different. It's just like really weird to experience a room full of happy drunk people for the first time. You think it would be joyful, but you're really just, as a kid.
I think as a kid that's scary because you expect grown-ups to be stable and consistent, and when they're
especially
suddenly
since like my
acting out of
parents didn't
character,
recreationally use or anything like that. It just wasn't their thing. But I probably need to head out because I have a meeting in the morning. Not a fun meeting, but it's still a meeting.
Yeah. But also, I'm with this on this. Like, I've never tried illicit things because I am too much of a control freak. Like, that terrifies me also. Same, honestly.
Yeah, I think that for me is just like the
Well, that's why like my first time trying the recreational stuff, I was like very safe at home with my roommate and my boyfriend, and I had Play-Doh. Like it was a very safe scenario.
Watching some people literally like do that for the first time, and you have to keep them in very contained spaces because they end up, and even then like there are people who end up like freaking out. And it's like you actually make it worse when you panic. You gotta be chill throughout the whole entire experience.
But yeah.
I know. I think, I don't know. I mean, like I'll drink occasionally, but like I don't, or whatever, like that. But I've never done anything else.
My body's too good at telling me that alcohol is bad for me. That's my biggest thing. Is like unless I'm like actually on a mission, which I have to be actively on this mission, which I don't know what state I'm in that I'm doing that. My body will be like, hey, you have a headache. Hey, you're nauseous. Like nothing. I don't get to the positive stuff. I just keep hitting the negative stuff right away. So.
Yeah.
Oh God, the Silent Hill movie. That's creepy.
That sounds terrible, honestly.
No.
Wow, we have like
that's true.
covered the gamut of topics this evening.
Yeah.
I feel like this video is probably gonna get too monetized.
I don't think it will. I don't feel like we talk.
We'll
I don't
see.
feel like there's anything that's been like explicitly discussed.
Too explicit.
No, I don't think anything's been super explicit.
We'll
I mean, you'll have to let us know. Once they almost sensitized one of mine because I like said Roe v. Wade, but then they took it away because all I did was say it once, and I'm like, also you're allowed to say that.
Not you trying to fight.
Hey,
we got some more bots back. Woohoo.
Yeah, see that's it, and see that gets such a bad rep, honestly.
No, truly, like it helps my anxiety so much, and I didn't take it till this year because it has such a bad reputation, and I'm so mad because it is no worse than alcohol. It's even better, and I'm just like, but why?
Yeah. I mean, I have so many feelings and thoughts about that. I know personally for me, like I would always have to do it like recreate. Like I don't function well. I'm the type that's kind of like I got to be in for the night, ready to chill, have some snacks, and then I pass out. Like I'm done.
It's such a good sleep aid.
It is such a good. Oh my gosh, it is a very, very good sleep aid. But like, I know people who really do like who it helps them function. And not necessarily, I wouldn't say in an addictive way, but like people who have, like I know someone who has like social anxiety, and like it helps them, and they're in a very front-facing social job. And so for them, it helps deal with that social anxiety and having to constantly be high energy and deal with people. And there are some people who do partake and they don't. I hate the stereotypes of people always like slow and sluggish and lazy, and they don't do like everybody doesn't have that same reaction. I'm like that because that's just my personal reaction. But I know for a lot of people, they function literally the same way, like the way I'm talking right now. You would never know.
Yeah.
No, but it's also like, I mean, it's one of those things where we don't even have a lot of research because we've not allowed people to do research. You can't get federal grants with it.
Yeah.
And they're actually like, so if you sterilize it down to the components, if you have different combinations of the components, you can make things that are more sedative and less sedative. And like, you can tailor it a little bit. And literally, I'm so angry from like a science perspective, but then there's the social stuff that I can't even like let myself think about because then I
Yeah.
just go into like
Yeah.
a rage.
But meanwhile, you have you have the federal government pushing stuff that is literally super addictive.
Yeah,
And you
no,
have a
like
whole
literally,
you have a
we're
whole
literally going
crisis
to
in your
use
country right now.
oxycodone before this. This is
Exactly.
literally what we're doing.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I just feel like at this point, like, but you prescribe and you push stuff like this, and you have literally have a whole epidemic on your hand,
Mhm.
but you won't back something that is, and you can, I mean, you can get addicted to anything. Let's be real about this. I feel like
The
people,
thing is, it's tied
I mean,
to,
it's less addictive than caffeine that we've already accepted. We've accepted caffeine. We've accepted that we can become addicted to things like shopping, social media. Like
Yeah.
you said, like there's so many things that we
Well,
accept.
there was an interesting article I read recently in the New York Times, though, that was talking about negative effect on like teenagers and who are especially with like vaping, because there's not always a lot of laws determining percentages of certain chemicals and like fit in it, and certain at high percentages and high dosages it can have really negative physical impacts on, like, because it's not just like the way things are naturally occurring. I don't want to like get too specific with the language, but there was a really interesting article about how it's causing like problems in some states where things are legal and but there's not enough regulation of the products, and teenagers are using it and it's becoming an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of things though. Like there are a lot of, including caffeine, things that we know that one should not have a lot of until your brain is fully developed. Like we know that
Right.
about alcohol, we know that about caffeine. That doesn't mean people will be messed up if they do that earlier all the time, right? There's a whole range.
Mhm.
And like the answer isn't necessarily just like it's I don't know. It's I just get annoyed that it's also one of those things where like there are options that it can be used, like she was saying during the pandemic. It's like it's an antiviral, it's an anti-inflammatory, it has these medicinal qualities that would be great for inflammatory disease.
it's a plant, for God's sake. I mean, yeah, it gets messy when people start, you know what I'm saying, because there's so many different ways to, like with anything, to crossbreed stuff and to engineer things, whatever the case may be. But I just feel like at its core, I feel like there is a lot of medicinal benefits to it, but there's been such a stigma attached to it. And let's be honest, there's a lot of social reasons, racial reasons why this country treats it the way that they treat it.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just another way that, and I don't want to dive into this. I mean, it is late, but I mean, there's systemic reasons as to why we criminalize that so much. I'm
Right.
talking about you get more time for that than you do for having a whole ounce of cocaine. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like that makes no sense whatsoever. That's wild to me. But
Well, also, I mean, just, and we should not get into it because it's just so long, but like, we shouldn't also treat addiction the way we treat it.
no, we
It's
shouldn't
a
at all.
disease.
Yeah.
It's something that should be treated very differently.
Yeah. You
That I
criminalize
agree
it.
with.
You criminalize it. You criminalize addiction. I don't think I'll ever be able to grasp the way that people are conditioned to view addiction and how legally we handle addiction. I can't get past that because it's clear in a lot of cases where there are people, and I always use like opioids as an example. There are people who can take those and literally they stop. Like there's not, they can finish the prescription and they're done and nothing happens. Then you have those who literally, they take their prescription and all of a sudden you have a switch go off and it's an addiction. Nobody wants, who in their right mind wants to be addicted to anything. It causes so much, and people are like, oh, people choose this, and it's like it's a lot more complex than that, than saying someone is choosing this. Yeah, they, because I've seen it firsthand. It's a lot of hurtful and harmful things that are done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mental health things I think that are going on in the background, but people just have created this stigma
Mhm.
around it. And instead of putting people into treatment places or creating treatment plans where they can get help, the first thing you want to do is lock them up in a cell. And what good is that going to do? Because they're not
Right.
coping with the core issue. Because I watched this, I don't know if y'all have seen this guy, his channel. He is based out of LA and he interviews people off of Skid Row.
Oh
Mhm.
my God, we talked about
We
this.
talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
If y'all ever get the chance, I can't remember his channel's name, but he's done it for years now where he literally interviews all these people who live on Skid Row, from
Mhm.
prostitutes to people that have addiction, whatever the case may be. And he basically gets their backstory. And for every single person, because somebody had commented this, and I was like, dang, that's so true. Every single
Mhm.
person that he has interviewed that has an addiction issue has some type of childhood trauma that they are trying to cope with. And they have
Interesting.
literally used that as a
Soft
means.
white
Wow.
underbelly.
Yeah, soft white underbelly.
Wow.
It's very, very interesting, like, because he'll ask questions like, you know, what did you experience? And he creates an atmosphere where these people literally feel vulnerable enough to
Mhm.
tell their story, and you can see the trauma that's the underlying cause of a lot of the addictions that they're facing. And so,
Wow.
like, I just appreciate a lot of his videos because it gives you better insight to where people are at and why they're there, and it humanizes them, and it reminds you that you're two steps away from being
Mhm.
in their shoes. We're
Mm-hmm.
all, unless you, and even then, even when you're filthy rich, it only takes but so much for everything to be taken away from you. So
Mhm.
to criminalize, to look down on these people, to think that we're above people who have addictions, people who, may live in places like Skid Row, like it's you you forget that you could be there tomorrow and not
Mhm.
even realize that.
It's
And I'm
just about
reminded
whether
that
or not your receptors really like that or not. It's truly so
exactly,
chemical. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
and also
exactly.
here's the thing. It has a biochemical reasoning. It is a medical thing. And we don't criminalize, well, we do for some things, but in general, if you get sick with a disease that you maybe did something dumb to get it, like maybe you knew that you would get COVID if you went to a place. We're not putting you in
Mhm.
jail because you went to a place and got COVID. We treat you
Right.
for COVID,
Right.
right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. No, you do. You get treated. You get treated for it.
That is
But
interesting. I mean, because like I've had, after I had two C-sections and they give you opioids after that, and I mean, which I did okay on them, and then, but like pretty much as soon as I felt like I could get away with just taking ibuprofen, I switched to just taking ibuprofen because I
When
I'm
didn't
they
want to
allergic to opioids.
oh no.
when they took out my wisdom teeth, they wanted to give me opioids, but we have so many addictions in my family, like it's
Yeah.
so prevalent. I was like, is there anything else? And so Vicodin's less bad, and I only took like 2 of those, and I just took a boatload of ibuprofen.
That's how
Yeah.
we figured out that I was allergic, because they put me on Percocet. So
Mm.
when I had my C-section, I told the anesthesiologist, I was like, I will have a bad reaction. She's like, what am I supposed to do? I said, I don't know. You have the degree. You tell me. So they still
Well,
put opioids in the line in my back before they started the C-section. So
mhm.
I had a horrible, I couldn't even hold my daughter after I gave birth to her because my reaction was so bad in recovery.
Wow.
And they actually were debating on giving me Narcan to reverse it because it got that bad. And I was like, I told
Wow.
y'all from the beginning. That's a whole nother discussion
I
about Black women
dislike
having to advocate
doctors
for
so
themselves.
much.
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
teach these dudes. They're and women and all of them. They aren't taught to critically think because they are so stressed out from tests. It's not quite their fault. The system makes them have to pass these exams. So they just have to learn X, Y, and Z, not how to think outside of this little box. Because if they don't pass this box, they don't get their residency. And then the $250,000 they spent is all a waste. And it's
Yeah.
just like, this is not how you should train people who are in charge of helping people who have problems.
Well, they
Yeah.
need to go through some type of training as well, where they don't, because I knew.
Well, yeah, and they're also, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that the whole conversation about especially Black women
Mhm.
and
I mean, Black women mortality rate is like
Yeah,
super
Black
high.
women mortality,
Yeah.
especially when pregnant.
Yeah.
And so I knew that going in, but when you experience that mess firsthand, it's like an eye opener. Like I had the anesthesiologist literally give me a lower dose of the epidural, and did not know until there was a Black nurse who turned around and said, "He gave you a lower dose, and I'm not sure why." Well, we all know why.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be real about that. Like, and it's stuff like that. That actually is the reason why too. Like, I have said that I do not want to have another child.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's
Black midwives, though.
Yeah, doulas and midwives.
yeah. I mean, I think the thing is too is that like even and it's like doubly bad because it's like pregnant women in general aren't often listened to, and then like you add on top of it like it's even worse with, and like yeah, the mortality rates are wild in the US for
Mhm.
Black women. I think I just got a thing. There's a new Netflix documentary that just came out about that, about like Black women and childbirth.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to stomach.
Yeah.
It's like the same way that a lot of Black people were unable to watch the adaptation about the y'all, what is the name of
Central
call
Park
them?
one?
Huh?
Was it the
Was
Central
it
Park
the
one?
five?
Yeah, Central Park 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of Black people were unable to watch that because
Yeah.
it touches so close to reality that it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that. Like, it's not entertaining to me. And so, like, for me,
Right.
I know that watching a documentary like that, it would
For
be
me, those oftentimes I feel like those educational things are not for us.
they're not for us at all.
Oh, yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely I did not have a good experience with my first childbirth. It was like really traumatic. But
Yeah. You know what documentary y'all should watch on Netflix? That one
No.
about
That man who
Lord,
got all
Lord,
those
that's-
children.
yeah, something sweet.
I've already
Keep-
watched my obligatory Mormon thing of the year.
Oh, y'all, let me tell you, I already
Oh,
know. I know
it's
that
good.
story. I know that
It's
story inside and out.
Keep Sweet, yeah.
But every time something new comes out related to that whole situation, I
It is
eat it up.
wild.
It is wild, and like
It is
the fact that this man was still in prison and they were going to visit him,
still, and he's still even
Yeah.
now he's still influencing them. Like
Yeah, he is.
No, I went on a rabbit hole a couple days ago watching the House of Horrors. I couldn't at first. I couldn't stomach it when it first came out. But I started watching like all these things these terrible parents did and imprisoned their kid. One was like 29.
oh no, I can't.
Oh, it was
I
like
can't. No.
I was like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, at the time I couldn't
Oh my
stomach
God.
it, and it came back around, and I was
Oh
like, ooh,
shoot. Well, Ashley.
Ashley,
what?
you're getting a hand-picked recommendation.
Oh no, I did. I watched it already. Liv, I watched the season that was on Hulu.
Did
And
you watch the Hulu show with Andrew Garfield?
Uh-uh.
It's Under the Banner of Heaven. It came out this spring.
Oh, I
Oh,
read that book years ago, and it was intense.
Yeah, so it's more of a dramatized version based off what my friend told me who'd read the book.
Okay.
Andrew Garfield's character's not in the book, and I don't think either is his partner. But it was something. Not knowing what was happening, I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Oh no, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is a trip and a half.
Oh my gosh, he's back.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
talk about
another spot.
let's talk about Jen Shaw. Let's talk about Mary like that show was, when I say legit, that show has a lot of she married her grandfather,
ooh, oh Lord,
Mary.
wow.
Because she said that it was her grandmother was married to this man. It's not her biological grandfather, but she grew up with him as her grandfather. And so her grandmother left it in her will that it was her desire for her to marry him when she passed.
What? No.
It is
And
the
she
weirdest
said, yeah, that's
situation
me.
ever. It is
And
weird.
she said, yeah, that's me, is what you're saying.
And then Jen Shaw is she in jail yet?
Not
She
in
has
jail.
committed
Yes.
she's committed a lot of fraud, and I think in one of the seasons they actually have like the FBI catching up to her
22
and
hours
her
ago,
getting
they said
arrested.
she's to serve prison time, but I don't know if she's actually there yet.
Okay.
But could face up
Gosh.
to 14 years, according to Forbes.
Yep.
That's what I get from a Google search.
Yep.
Wow.
She's supposed to be doing.
Wow.
Oh, she made it all up.
Yeah, I think it's
What? That's even more sick. Oh
Oh,
my
God.
god.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that's even more
That's-
sick. So like I was
Oh
kind of
my
like
gosh.
being like, I don't want to say like I was being like, but I was like, dang, that's really awkward. But the fact that you married him and it wasn't even in her will.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
That's disturbing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I need
Just,
to watch season 2 because I don't think season 2 is on Hulu, is it? I need to find somewhere to
usually
watch.
Hulu updates as it comes live.
I need to watch season 2 because I watched season 1 and I was like, what is that? But it is
What's
very
this called
interesting because
again?
a lot of the people um who are part of that cast are Mormons or have grown up as Mormons.
Yeah.
But
really.
keep
That
sweet
was season 2.
man. I also
Mm.
watched so Hulu has A&E show about cults and the
Do that. And
FLDS. Is it
Yeah.
Yeah.
FLDS?
Yeah.
They were on one of the episodes as like what happened to them after he got arrested and put in jail. And
Yeah.
apparently their whole community is falling apart because the state seized all of that money, so they have no
Yeah.
money. So they're losing their property, they're losing their land, they don't have they have nothing. So a lot of the people who have left are trying to come back and help, but they've been told like, you're not supposed to have communications with those who have kind of like turned on the church and everything like that. And I
Mhm.
mean, they still like they interviewed one of the women that still lives there, and she was like, we still believe in Uncle Warren, and he is still our prophet. And I'm like,
Oh, God.
girl, he married a
Jeez.
whole 12-year-old. What do you mean he's still your prophet?
What is always so fascinating to me is how young that religion is compared to others. I never really connected those dots till recently. I'm like, it was only formed in the 1800s.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really young.
No, it is pretty young. Yeah.
It's such a baby.
Yep. Man, all these bots keep popping up.
Liv, I need to watch it. I need to watch it because I need updates. I've been waiting on Hulu to get season 2, but I just don't think that that's going to be a thing right now. But I need to, because Mary is a trip, y'all.
All right, y'all. I gotta go to bed. It's so late.
Me too. Because I want to be
Oh
an
my
AC,
gosh.
and I only let myself be an AC at night. Because I'm too cheap.
Really? Oh my
That's me
gosh.
too.
It's
No.
16 cents per kilowatt hour here.
You know what? We just like save extra for the summer and don't use it most of the year.
Well, I thought it was going to be the same rate. Okay. So I moved half a mile away from where I used to live. You'd think the electricity would cost the same? It does not, because I live in bougie Brookline. Brookline does everything it tries to do to prevent poor and middle class people from living here.
Oh
It
my
won't let you
gosh.
park on the streets. Its electricity is 5 cents more per kilowatt hour. But why? It comes from the same place. You have to
Oh my
like go through
gosh.
all of these hoops to get an apartment. I
Wow.
actually like it here, but it's I don't actually like their policies.
Wow.
And I wasn't expecting electricity to be significantly more expensive. Because it used to be only 11 cents. These are the things I think about because I don't make a lot of money from my grad student stipend.
Yeah, understandable. Yep. Well, if there was a week for you to use your air conditioner, this would be the one. It'll be better
Well, yeah,
next
we
week.
just, you just don't have central air where it can get everywhere. So it's like the main good one's in the bedroom, and I don't want to just be in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We don't have central air. We have like an air conditioner in each bedroom and one in the living room. So,
We have a
Yeah.
living room one that works pretty well, but I'm in my guest room, and then we have one in the bedroom.
there you go.
You know, this is
All
where
right.
the magic happens. This is where my shelves are. Dun, dun, dun.
Nice. Love it. Well, thanks everybody. This was fun.
Yeah, I liked hearing
We
the Ashley
covered a
college
lot.
stories. Those were fun.
Yeah. Some intense stuff.
See y'all later.
All right. We'll see y'all later. Good night.